Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to BlackOut Gaming TV. We are ever approaching the climax of the 5th edition of the Highlander Nations Cup in ETF2L. We are reaching the last 8 teams in the competition, trying to find out which nation is the best at the 9v9 format of TF2. And we have a scorcher for you tonight. In one corner, we have 2014 finalists, England. And of course, they were the top seed in the high seed group. And facing them is none other than the 2013 winners, the United States of America. I am Ceejaey, and on camera tonight will be Wiethoofd with, I've got some American, like just grab an American off the street. His name's like Voxdei? How you doing, Vox?
I just wandered here. I don't know. No one invited me. I just showed up, right? That's how we do these things. We're American. We just show up wherever we want. We own the place. Yeah, I'm doing good. Excited to see this matchup here.
It should be a good one indeed. I mean, it's a clash of titans. You can't put it any other way. These two nations are absolutely huge in TF2, like not just in Highlander but in general. There's so many great players from both countries that have played TF2 in the sixes and in Highlander, and yeah, I'm pretty excited. The winner of this goes into the semi-finals, obviously. This is actually the second quarterfinal to be played so far. The other quarterfinal, spoilers alert if you don't want to know the other match result, was victory for Germany over the Netherlands. So the winner of this will face Germany in the semi-finals. And we can take a look at the bracket, actually, in the other side of the bracket. So the teams that these teams won't be facing until the final, possibly. We have Denmark versus Belgium. Denmark, obviously, another team that has notoriously had very good players, as well as Sweden, the 2 times defending champions, against Russia, the team that almost defeated them in the semi-finals last year, who ended up finishing 3rd themselves. But back onto this game, Vox, did you know there's a lot of history to this fixture? Because obviously I said USA won 2003. That was the 3rd Nations Cup, I believe. No, sorry, 2nd Nations Cup. Excuse me. But the 3rd Nations Cup, 2014, this was the same quarterfinal back then as well. England played against the USA, and that went to 3 maps. And Upward was one of the maps picked. And there was a fella called Snow who played Sniper. He went on a 20 kill streak against the USA. And I'm pretty sure there were some Americans having nightmares about Snow. But looking at this game tonight, who do you think the English players are going to be worried about?
Yeah, I mean, there's so much talent over on this team. I mean, you got the best that the US has to offer. I mean, obviously, snipers are just hugely powerful, just overall in Highlander, and Boar is one of the best at his class in UGC Highlander, the main Highlander league for the US, North America, etc. So Boar is obviously going to be a big problem. Slemnish as well, one of the top of his game in Invite in ESEA. So although Upward, when you think of payload, you don't automatically think of scouts. Definitely a map that I feel Scout has a little bit of air to roam around, and he could actually be a big problem, a thorn in England's side. And we're still waiting to find out if we got a secret Banny player coming on demo for the US, but always going to be a factor if he's involved.
What was that name? Did you say Banny?
Yeah,
is he a Highlander main?
He's kind of a little known. He's getting there. He's trying to build up a follower. Yeah, I think he's in Steel right now, working his way up.
Oh, well, good. I mean, hopefully this is a platform for him to further his career. Who knows? But that would be very interesting to see. Looking from the English side, we'll go over the rosters in a second. We're just waiting to see who will actually finally join the server, because there are obviously a lot of players' names being bounced around. I'm not sure who exactly is going to be finalized on the rosters, but yeah, I mean, from the English team, there is a lot of talent. There's a lot of Prem winners here. Just taking a look at the likes of Emilio Estevez and Cloudy, who are my teammates on Strong Opinions, 3 times Prem winners. Emilia's won it 4 times as well. A main calling machine. He's probably the best main caller. Maybe have the biggest brain in Highlander, many say. And there's also players like Granger Bob, Spy of the Season a couple of times. Much in the nightmares of many Prem players in the history of the competition. And he's back to continue to play Spy. But there are some other players here who are kind of up and coming as well. So I'm really excited. And with something I talked about with Ceejaey, because I did the cast with Ceejaey the other day when USA played France. And one of the big talking points was the ping advantage, or the ping disadvantage, you could say, for the USA when it comes to playing, on European servers. A bit of inside info. Apparently, there was a bit of an audacious claim to play one of the maps on an American server, but this is our turf, Fox. That's not how we roll. You don't come to our house and then start making claims, But I mean, how much of a disadvantage do you think it is going to be for the American players playing on sort of 150 ping?
Yeah, I mean, it can vary from class to class. I mean, I think a lot of people might know that ping can really affect explosive classes, your soldiers and your demos, but maybe won't affect a sniper or a scout as much because you've got hit scan. I find for myself personally, as long as I can warm up on that ping for about 20-30 minutes, I kind of get used to that hit reg and everything, and kind of figuring out how I got to aim my shot. So they might get off to a slow start, if they just not comfortable with the ping, but they should settle in. I think ping advantage often gets thrown around as an excuse more so than an actual, factor. But obviously, any small discrepancies, players can feel like it affects their gameplay.
Absolutely, and I suppose even at the highest level, you do have these very, very small margins. I mean, all it can take is an uber drop or a sniper dying at the wrong time, and that could be the difference between winning a round and therefore winning a map or not. And obviously, if those advantages can be sometimes tampered with the ping, it can be difficult. But we did say the USA absolutely demolished France in their competition. Winning on both Gully Wash and Upwards. So they have a little bit of experience in this map as well. But looking at previous sort of results in the competition so far, the USA won their group without dropping any points. They did get a default win en route, but fairly comfortable for them getting through the group stage and then knocking out France without dropping a map so far in the competition to reach the quarterfinals. Whereas England had a bit of a harder time, or you could say easier time, because they were placed in the high seed group, which meant those four teams, which was Sweden, Denmark, England, and Germany, those four teams actually were decided that they were the strongest and they were going to be placed in a sort of an invite group, where it didn't matter where they landed, it didn't matter the results. Basically, they just had to fight it out to try and get the best seeding possible. And in the end, England actually topped that group. They did lose a game to Germany, I believe, on the last stage, but they did actually top the group, so they are officially coming into this knockout stage the highest seed. Do you think that would be like a bit of a disadvantage or an advantage, Vox? Like, do you think like having stronger opponents to warm up against earlier in the competition will have sort of prepared them for this match, or do you think USA are just kind of slowly building up, like, a bit of momentum going on the way through?
Yeah, I prefer just to play the stronger teams. I find it, if I'm playing scrims or something and we play teams that we outclass, you don't really learn as much because some players maybe don't take it as seriously, and you chalk up, oh yeah, we didn't do well here, but we were just throwing, obviously that we're better than this, and it may not get you as prepared. Whereas when you get really challenged against teams that are gonna kind of push you to your limit, where you think about tilting, but then, oh no, let's come through in the clutch, let's be the better team here, and just keeping that level of competition high, I think, even if, you said England kind of didn't have to struggle too much during their group stages, considering they came out as the #1 seed, but even if they did, at least you can go through with that knowledge, or the mistakes you made, and make better plays when it matters.
Absolutely, and there is that kind of factor where if you're playing against a team that perhaps isn't as experienced, you get away with easy frags and easy 1v1s that perhaps you wouldn't actually get away with against a more difficult opponent. And if you go in with that mindset into a more tight game, then you're going to get punished for that rather than being rewarded with some easy points. But we are on a little bit of a delay. Some players are being held back a bit, so we'll see how it goes. And we can take a look at some of the players who are already here. And oh no, there was one thing I was going to say, and I absolutely can't remember what it was, Vox. You're talking, and I was like, "There's something I need to say," I'm going to say it in the
It's
next
my
time.
beautiful American accent distracting you.
It is. It is. I was just like, wow. It's just so glorious, and just lulling me to sleep. But yeah, talking about England's previous game, they played against Lithuania. Now Lithuania, they had a pretty decent time. I mean, Lithuania, not a country you may say is a huge nation, but in terms of TF2, they historically have always done very, very well in both Sixes and Highlander. They've got some big names, some Prem players on their rosters. And for England to come out 6-0 over them was a pretty good result. But when it comes to these two teams, what I was going to say, Vox, as I remembered, is that something I said in the early stages of the competition, you get some nations that it's a bit of a problem because there aren't that many players from those countries. And USA and England, I think, are nations that are very privileged in the fact that they've got lots of players to choose from. You were talking about Banny earlier on. He might play, he might not play. For some countries, that could be, do or die. Like, if they are actually going to play or not. Like, can our nation compete? And playing for Spain myself, I know sometimes it's a bit of a situation of sticking a square peg in a round hole. Like, so you played Pyro before in a pub? That's cool. You're going to be our main Pyro for this Nations Cup. Whereas these two teams are definitely the opposite of that. They have the indulgence of just being able to pick whoever they want. And be like, hey, you know what? We might have Banny play tonight. We might have, Carl play or Ball play. We'll see who's available. And the same goes for England as well. There's, England have got spies such as Woolen and Granger Bob to choose from. The demos, you range from players like Joe and Hildreth. It's just a wealth of experience. I mean, can you imagine being like the captain of one of these teams? Well, so would you take up a coaching role and just be like, hey, I'm going to pick your team for you, and you're going to go and win for me?
Yeah, I mean, it's a good point. Something that may not be obvious to a lot of people, but yeah, I mean, the smaller countries or they have fewer people to pick from. But yeah, I mean, it's a really good point. There's just so many people that I think it was Chocobo talking to me that when they were trying to find a demo, like, hey, do you know any like high level demos? And we were talking, and I think we found like 4 or 5 people that were like, oh yeah, that he could play, because there's just so many. There's just so much. I mean, going from all the way over the West Coast to East Coast, whatever your ping wants to be, but that can fill in that role as well. So.
We do actually have 8 players on the American roster. So I casted the other day, and I was like, oh yeah, I'm getting to know these players. Like players like Boar. I know Boar. I've played with him on my team, and Carl played for Tourette's Chess Club last season. They got to the semi-finals, so a 3rd place finish for him, as did Chocobo on the Engineer. So there are some players who've played some games in ETF2L this season. They've got a bit of experience with the European scene. And I saw Nursey was playing the other day. She was on the Medic, but now there's different players, and I'm starting to wonder who's going to be playing. So I mean, Viper I know was on the Spy, but Slemnish, Carson, and is it Zuki?
Yeah, Zuki.
So what classes are those guys going to play, and like what experience do they have?
Yeah, so Slemnish is one of the top invite scouts, and he's also played at top of Highlander with Kids Next Door, which for many seasons was the team to beat in Plat Highlander. So he's going to bring a lot, both in DM from primarily playing Sixes and from his experience in Highlander as well. So we'll most likely be seeing him on Scout. From what we know, we're still wondering about the whole Banny situation, but it looks like Split actually just joined, so I guess I'll get to that. But Carson is actually a top-level heavy, probably just as good as Carl in terms of DM, but Carl has more experience, and probably more, what am I trying to say, stronger main caller on heavy. So Carson's going to be playing Soldier. I actually don't know how great he is at Soldier, but I'm sure if they're plugging him in there, they feel pretty confident. And then Zuki right now is on a top 3 Plat team going on. They're going pretty well this season, so he's also got a lot of talent to bring, and I think mainly plays between either Pyro or Heavy as well. So A lot of dual classes for these guys. But one last thing to mention, it does look like Split has joined in to play demo, so we might not be seeing Banny here. But Split also has played demo in Highlander quite a bit, so might not. You don't have the Banny brain, but Split should fill in just fine.
Yeah, I think Split played the other day. I think he might have been playing Soldier. I can't really remember. But like you said, yes, so many players in these teams that can basically just multi-class, and you turn up, they get 9 players, and it's, they're very, very competent on any class. We take a look at the players for England who are currently in the server, that I know who will be playing and what classes they'll be playing. We've got May on the Scout. Scout for Super Dickmans, SECK. They won Prem last season, so a lot of spirits for him. We've got Tom on the Soldier. Now, Tom's more well known as a Sixes player. He's got a lot of Premiership experience playing for 6v6 teams. LAN proven as well at I-Series, played in the invite group at LAN. So, when it comes to Soldiers, he's got a lot of experience. But in Highlander, most recently played for Envision, who were a high team, and they gained promotion to Prem, sort of, but then didn't quite seal it out. So he hasn't been too much in the Highlander scene recently, but he's been playing a lot for England in the Nations Cup. Not sure who Pyro is at the moment. Oh, actually, no, that's a lie. I'm lying to you, Vox. Pyro is, of course, Void Trinity, who is kind of this up-and-coming Pyro. Did very well in his debut Prem season for Failure Esports last season. He seems to have a good handle on the class, and actually, for me, was one of the Pyros to stand out for me last season. Demo, we'll have to wait and see, because the demo is being held back at the moment, not actually currently in the server. But on Heavy, we have the big brain. You got the Banny brain in America. Over in England, over in Europe, we have the Emilio Estevez brain. He just we call him Premilio Bestevez. That should yeah. If that doesn't have you quaking in your boots, I don't know what will. But he'll be on the Heavy. On Sniper, we will definitely be having Cloudy, who is, of course, the captain for the England team. On Spy, it will be Granger Bob, who is just, he's kind of, I don't know, I don't want to get into a Spy discussion, because, I'm pretty sure the Twitch chat would start crying or dying, I'm not sure. But yeah, basically, in Europe, we have a very, very large influx of gun spies, as they're called. Ambassador, Deadringer, Headshot from across the map, and Survive. But Granger Bob is pretty much the last of a dying breed. He is cloak from behind, get a backstab, and if I don't kill you, then I'm just going to revolve you to death. And I think he's probably the best cloak and stab spy I've ever seen, or ever had the privilege of playing with or against. So he's going to be playing tonight. And the other player who is currently in the server is Kronos, who will be the medic. He hasn't played Highlander for a couple of seasons. Last time he played around was for the Bureau as the medic. So, these players are playing their main classes. They're all here. They're all ready. I do believe Hildreth is on his way. We're just waiting for his Sixes game to finish. And he'll be joining us on demo, I assume. And Engineer is not currently in the server. So that's going to be a surprise.
Oh, okay, surprise. And now is Sixes that experimental format they're trying, like Valve's trying to push? I'm not too familiar with it,
Yeah, well, Sigafuse 7v7, which is obviously like the bog standard for TF2.
Right.
Like some people were just like, hey, what if we just take one off of each team? And they're like, oh, they're like one of each class? No, let's mix that up too. And that's how 6v6 was born. And that's how everyone will remember it. But yes, it's actually a big game. It's actually the top team in Europe versus the second top team in Europe currently. So they're trying to decide on. I think it's all but pretty much finished with regards to placing. So it's a bit of a dead rubber. I think it doesn't matter who gets the points now. Low Panda have got enough points to finish in second, and Seven will be finishing on top seed. But when it comes to this, of course, Highlander, it doesn't matter if you lose this. You are out of the competition now. There's no group stage. There's no buffer. This is the knockout. No double elim either. Once you're out, you're out. Germany await the winning team in the semi-final. And of course, we're going to be starting on PL Upward. And this was England's pick, I believe. Vox. I mean, how do you feel about this map? Like, of your limited knowledge of England and your extensive knowledge of the American players, who do you think is going to have the upper hand?
Yeah, this map gets played to death over in North America. I don't know how much it's played in EU Highlander as well. Yeah. So I mean, all of these players should feel at home at least on Upward, but I mean, if England comes out with a pick, obviously they feel the same exact way. And I mean, this map always starts off with, okay, which sniper is going to hit the shot first? Because that's all it is. You know, you're staring back and forth. You're praying that your sniper comes out on top. So I think right in the beginning, just that first point can get hugely decided on which sniper comes out of the gate better. And especially if you're on the offensive side and your sniper hits that shot, you're like, you're praising the gods. You're giving them as much props as possible because it means that your team can just push right out. So, you know, you're gonna need Bohr to step up here in a big way if you're rooting for the U.S. team. He's not gonna be able to crumble or anything like that. Not saying that he's prone to choke or anything, but you know, he's gonna have to make sure he's on his game. If Cloudy is as strong as you say he is, I know he's your boy. But otherwise, you know, it's gonna come down to demo play. Split, I'm not too familiar with more as a demo personally. I think he plays it in sixes primarily. But this is also a map that you need your combo to be on point. And you know, I'm already quaking in fear for Emilio from what you've said, but I gotta trust in Carl that he's gonna lead his combo to victory as well over on the US side. So it's gonna be the sniper, it's gonna be the combo, as I think you can say with most maps in Highlander.
Absolutely. I mean, it's all about the coordination between the combo, the flank, the assassin classes. Can the assassin classes get the picks? Can the combo coordinate themselves and get the victory? And can the flank have an influence on the sidelines? I think Upward is pretty much, I mean, back in the day when it came to Highlander, I think everyone talked about Badwater being the staple map, right? It was, you know, you had to be good at Badwater. Everyone knew the strats to Badwater. Badwater was the most commonly played. These days, I'm pretty sure Upward is practically synonymous with Highlander, with the fact that it's played so much wherever you play Highlander, whether you're in NA or in EU, doesn't matter. Like Upward, everyone knows Upward, and I totally agree. Sniper is going to be absolutely huge on this map. It's all about those sight lines. It's all about controlling the area. Can you put enough pressure on the enemy sniper? It's not so much sniper v sniper as well. You know, that is going to come into a factor. Bohr has experience playing in Europe. He absolutely demolished France with some insane shots the other night, and as well as playing on this map. But Cloudy himself, in the last Nations Cup, pretty much made his name there. And he also went on a huge kill streak. Also went on a 20 kill streak on this map as well. It was against Belgium, if memory serves, but he is pretty decent at this map as well. But it's not always just the sniper v sniper. It's, you know, can your spy pressure the enemy sniper? Can your flank shut down that space and not allow him the time and have the composure to take that one important shot? And of course, demos are going to be insanely important, controlling those chokes and taking that ground. And yeah, I mean, if England have picked this map, they're obviously going to be comfortable on it. It's an interesting choice, I would say. I think both captains, both teams are going to be sat down, really thought about their map choices, really came into this thinking what is going to be best for us and worse for the enemy team. And the fact that England have picked the map that the USA picked in their previous round must mean England must be very confident on this map. US's pick was Product, so that will be the second map we'll be seeing. It's obviously a King of the Hill map, very different scale of things, maybe a little bit more DM based than Payload. And if necessary, if there is a 1-1 after two maps, we'll be heading to CP Steel, which is it's kind of like Marmite. Do you have Marmite in America?
We do not.
Okay, Marmite's like this brown stuff, and you put it on toast, and it's a very, very strong taste. Mm-hmm. And the slogan by the company themselves is you either love it or you hate it. That's pretty much the thing. Like, you either love Marmite, it's I love it, you know, put like an inch thick on your toast, or you hate it, you know, you can't stand the sight or the smell of it. And I think Steel is like that for a lot of people. There's no one who's like, Steel's alright. I think people either, I like Steel, I like the tactical side, I like, you know, the flanks, I like working with my team, or there's people who are just like, I hate it, it's dumb, this door's closed, why is this door closed, why is this bridge moving, you know, it's just. So I think that if we do go that far, I think that's going to be very interesting. And I think when it comes to Steel, I don't think ping's going to be an issue whatsoever. It's very, very tactical positioning and getting your team in the right space at the right time.
Right, yeah, and I mean, if it does come to Steel, I know Carl has a lot in his pocket when it comes to playing that map. Strangely enough, they have, I mean, his Highlander team, DK, lost for the first time in, I think, about a year, and it was on Steel. So maybe those strats are a little hampered, but I mean, classically, he's been someone to turn to when your team needs a fix on Steel. You come to Carl, and he fixes you up real good, you know. But it'll be. I would love to see the clash between the regions. If there's different play styles or something, you know, that I'm not aware of for the map that maybe England has. I personally, I'm a love it guy for Steel, so I'd be really interested to see that, just to see how things shake up, if, you know, in terms of meta and strategy.
Yeah, I mean, it's very much. I mean, if we do get to Steel, I mean, I'm gonna be confident. I think England's gonna win this 2-0, and you know, I'm gonna be in bed nice and early, tucked up, ready for work tomorrow. You know, I don't see it happening. Like, we got to start the smack talk here. Like, this has been far too friendly. I mean, I've known you for 10 minutes now at least, and there's been no insult slinging. But no, I mean, if we do get that far to Steel, there are some Emilio strats. If there's a strat that exists in the game, Emilio has either invented it or laid claim to it. There's a lot of things we say, well, did you really invent that strat? Yeah, I did. Yeah, I did. Absolutely. So some of those need to be verified. But he does have some strats on Steel, so it would be very interesting to play against. But yeah, I mean, something about you said earlier about scouts on Upward. I think when you start off playing in Highlander, scout is very much like, oh, on payload you push the cart. And it's like, oh, okay. And people don't like it. But if you play scout right, and if you play scout most effectively for your team, then you can be absolutely devastating. And so many times in this competition, we've seen scouts top frag on maps like this, just by getting in behind enemy lines or controlling their areas, cleaning up frags around the cart, and just being effective rather than just being, you know, the cart bitch sat on the cart and just pushing or just holding down an area with the soldier. So I mean, it'd be interesting to see how the scouts go up against each other today. But regional differences, definitely. I mean, when I started playing Highlander, I actually started playing in NA. I was part of a community, and they had different sentry positions. I think it's pretty much globalized now where sentries go. And on the second point, we have what's called the strong opinion hold, right? It's some people call it the DK hold. Apparently, it's a strat
really?
copied. Yeah, you can copy from our team, or you could just call it the neutrally appeasing octopus hold, which seems to be it's readily adopted now. And I think pretty much every point is similar from games I've casted in EU and NA. But I remember back in the day, Americans used to put the sentry up on the cliff on first point, and yeah, apparently that was the best thing. And it wasn't until like teams just rolled out with their sniper all the way on the far right and just headshot the NG that people thought, maybe we should put it in a different position.
I wonder how long it took. You know, the primitive brains, you know, back then, like cavemen banging rocks together. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, how does TF2? I mean, Highlander is a very like intensive game mode. I mean, I'm sure you agree. It's just it takes a big brain.
It sure does, and you know, I'm sure we'll get some lol HLs in the chat, but there's a lot when you got to coordinate 9 players, and you got to worry about every single class that's out there. I mean, NGs have to worry about sniper sight lines and spies coming at you, and sacrifice waves that come out right at the gate, and everything. There's a whole lot there that you have to be on alert for and be ready to defend.
Definitely. I mean, like sometimes in earlier stages of this competition, maybe there are nations who don't have that much experience, and you just kind of just battle your way through. You just DM your way through, and you call it a night. But I think here everyone's going to need to be on alert. Everyone's going to need to be wary of those sniper sight lines. You drift off, you lose concentration for a split second, and you drift into that sniper sight line, you're dead. Like, Cloudy and Boar, they're not going to miss those shots. These are two of the best snipers in the world when it comes to maps like these. And obviously the spies as well. Viper did very, very well when I saw him against France. And Granger Bob has also got a lot of experience, and you're not going to be checking you back. They're going to get you. They're going to get you. They're going to take you down, and those two classes can just pick away at you. And that's where I think morale can be lost if one of these snipers or the spies, if they start getting on a bit of a spree. You know how demoralizing it can be if your players just constantly, let's get ready for a push. Oh, your demo got headshot. Let's get ready for a push. Oh, your heavy got backstabbed just as you're about to push. And things like that just stall it out. And every minute's going to count. And I feel, I'm not sure if I'm going to see, we might see super fast times or super long times. I don't know. The teams might be really free and easy with their attacks and just go absolutely blitz it in sort of 4, 5, 6 minutes, or we might see times closer to 10 minutes and see really solid defense on each point.
Yeah, it really depends on how comfortable the players are playing with each other. I feel, a lot of times with maybe pug teams, just hey, let me grab nine guys that I know can play decently well and put them together. You can have really short times because the coordination's not there, so it ends up being oh, who's going to get these frags first? And you'll see them really quick. But I know, I mean, at least I can speak for on the US team. A lot of these guys come from the same team, that Dunning-Kruger effect, or have played with each other. I mean, obviously, we know that all these guys are at the top of their game and everything, but that level of coordination you have with guys you play with every week for multiple months or even years is very different than the guys you just, hey, let's play in this cup. It'll be a lot of fun, So like I said, for the North American team, I know a lot of these guys do play with each other, so they should have a decent level of coordination. Is the same for the English team?
I mean, yeah, it is. I think a lot of these players have played, like I said, there's a couple playing on my team, there's a couple playing on different teams together, but in general, a lot of these players have played with and against each other for a long time. And they have been practicing a lot. I mean, some teams didn't scrim, some teams, did warm-ups and a couple of scrims here and there, but in the high-tier group, I know that most of the teams did put in a lot of time finding out a good roster, putting that together, and actually practicing and working together, and actually kind of focusing on how to make their team better. And that's going to be important. I think it's going to be the edge. And, that kind of association, just knowing each other on the flank. So, I mean, May and Tom don't play on the same team, but they've probably played enough games in this competition that it should help them. And obviously the combo of if Hildreth does come and play demo, I do believe he is the demo. We do have Cherry Rendezvous joining on Engineer, so he is here now. So we're just waiting on the demo, and apparently it is Hildreth, and if Hildreth is playing a demo with Emilio Estevez, I mean, I talked about Emilio having a big brain, but Hildreth is also one of the, he used to call him the king of Highlander. He was the leader of High Panda for a long time, and they were just one of the most successful teams around. And a combo like that is pretty much the most experienced combo you're going to get in Highlander, pretty much. So I think, the ideas between those two, the fact that they've never really played on a team together other than England teams in the past, but they just know each other well, and that synergy is kind of already going to be there. So that should work out well for them. And they've been playing with these rosters, so there should be that coordination, especially on a map that everyone knows so well. It's sometimes the finer points don't need to be said when it's players like this.
Yeah, that's a really good point. And I mean, as a fan of the game mode, I'm excited. You're talking a big game about this combo, so I'm excited to see what they're gonna bring out. But I gotta hope that coordination, the practice and everything for NA makes it a pretty close game. I mean, the one thing you mentioned about, a lot of these teams that were practicing and playing for this, it brings a little tear to my eye. This community, man, we come together and we it's just really cool to see. Hey, I know we're not on the same teams whenever we play in our respective leagues, but we're gonna come out. We're gonna do the best that we can. Put on a real show for us. So that's exciting to see how that's the fruits of that labor.
I do have to apologize because I've hyped you up. I've got all of this excitement into you, but it's not Hildreth coming. It's been this massive deception. I've been fooled. I've been rused. There should be a riot in chat right now. It's not Hildreth. It is in fact Eames coming to play a demo for England, who has been actually playing majority of the games for England on demo. Not a Highlander player per se, but his Sixes team is I don't know the result of tonight's game, but his Sixes team was at the top of the high tier, so very, very close to getting into that Premiership division in Sixes. He's a very, very good demo, and like I said, there has been coordination between this combo here. Sort of Void, Kronos, Emilio, and Eames have been playing a lot of the games together, so that synergy should still be there. And Eames does have that raw talent of being a very good demo man. So we are 9v9. So for those of you just joining us, not those of you who've been waiting for an hour, those of you who are just joining us now, I'm Ceejaey, and I'm joined by Vox tonight. We've got an England versus USA show match. Not show match. It's a competition. It's a big competition. ETF2L Highlander Nations Cup. And Wiethoofd is on the camera. He'll be giving you some of the best production you've ever seen in your life. We'll quickly go down the England roster before we start. I'm sure we'll be reading up anytime soon. On Scout will be May. On Soldier will be Tom. Pyro will be Void Trinity. Demo is Eames. Heavy is Emilio Estevez. Engineer is Cherry Rendezvous. Medic is Kronos. Sniper is Cloudy. And Spy is Granger. He's now known as just Granger, not Granger Bob. So just Granger. Vox, do you want to run us through the American roster one more time?
Yeah, for the US, we're going to have Slimnish on Scout. They switched on me. Oh, Carson on Soldier, Zakima on Pyro, Split on Demo, Carl on Heavy, Chocobo on Engineer, Skis on Medic, Boar on Sniper, and Vipa on Spy.
You said it was Skis on Medic, right?
Yep.
Okay, because that is an interesting name he's got in the server right now. Do not be confused by England's tags. Of course, they're British. They've got some memes in them, and you'll notice their tags are all different, but they're all well-known English celebrities such as Gary Lineker, Anton Deck, and Philip Schofield. So those of you who live in Great Britain, you'll be you just watch them and you'll give a nice hearty chuckle. Mark Lawrenson. Americans, they just got their names. Just straight to business. They're not here to mess around, are they, Vox?
No, not at all. We're here to protect our reputation as being the best nation. No, I can't say that. But yeah, straight to business, which actually is a nice change of pace because often in Highlander cast, it's very, very different, the naming convention for a lot of these guys. So make it nice and easy for us.
Yeah, I mean, I like in ETF2L, in the Premiership division, obviously there's a chance your game will be casted, and some seasons we get pretty much every game casted, which is a good showing by BlackOut TV, but there is a rule in place that if you play in the Premiership division in either Sixes or Highlander, when you play a game you must have your name the same as is on your profile. So if your name is Vox on ETF2L, it has to be Vox in-game, otherwise your team will get a minor warning. Fortunately, this isn't, I don't think the rule is applicable in this competition. It's not considered, the Premiership. It's not, we don't manage to cast every game because there is a vast number of games being played at the same time. But it is helpful for us. And I know when I've casted American games or UGC games in the past, I'm like, American caster. What's this person who's playing Pyro? Because I'm glad the Americans have actually got. Although Slemnish has now got a nice tasty tag there. It's called Euroslayer. So he's feeling pretty confident.
Yeah, that's the key. You got a border between confidence and cockiness. So, I hope for his sake it's all just pure confidence. You can't tag up with Euroslayer and then lose. Otherwise, you just look like a fool. So,
it's almost like saying someone is like, I don't know, bad and European and then losing to them. Like that would be really embarrassing, right?
Yeah, exactly. Although I can't think of any examples where that may have happened,
No. I mean, this will be the first time. But Slamnish Scout is going to be feeling confident, I assume. And there's a bit of a debate going on, as this has been delayed for quite some time. And we're just hopefully waiting for the teams to ready up. Hope there's no more shenanigans and no more arguments. We do have 9 versus 9. We do have 18 players on the server. So hopefully we can just get going and play this game. And see some action. I mean, I'm really excited. The teams are probably not warmed up anymore, so it might take a little bit of time for them to get back into the flow. But I don't know. I'm hopeful for a good game.
Yeah, I was promised action, and I demand action. So take that teams from what little you care about me. Please, I'm begging you.
I mean, there is. I mean, if you really want to go into the depths of the memes, I mean, you could talk about Brexit and how technically England isn't part of the EU. So, you know, is it NA versus EU? It's kind of it's not, but it's still Europe. But
sorry, that's world politics. We don't pay attention to world politics here.
Yeah, you got your hands full with with what's his name. But yeah, we're just waiting. Oh, did you hear that, Vox?
It is music to my ears.
It's absolutely beautiful. We are readying up. That is the announcer saying it is time to get going. We are into the setup time. This is England versus the USA. It is a rematch of that insanely eventful quarterfinal from 3 years ago now. Different players, some are back, but majority different players are here. And they'll be trying to make their own names and their own history in this competition. In the blue will be England. They'll be setting a time. They'll be attacking, trying to set as fast a time as they can. And then in the red is the United States of America. They'll be defending first, and then we'll be swapping sides. And they'll be trying to beat the time that England set. And we just see some sticky traps coming out from split there. Just trying to get a little bit further forward. I'm just going to have a look at the sentry. The sentry is quite far back, actually. I mean, it is kind of this position generally, but it's closer to the left-hand side, maybe just to help out the flank a little bit. But we're nothing too out of the ordinary here, Vox.
Yeah, it changes a little bit on what it can shoot if they come down the stairs, but Chocobo knows more about engineer than I ever will, so we'll see what he's got up his sleeve. The gates do open though, and we're gonna take a look at that sniper battle. I'll let you take it.
Yeah, we're just seeing sort of the teams moving up here a little bit. Seeing a bit of jump come in from... Oh, Tom gets shot out of the air. And Eames gets sentryed there by Chocobo's sentry. So it was well placed in the end. Emilia also goes down, as does Granger. Gets cleaned up by the Euroslayer Slemnish. But in the meantime, England just slowly pushing that cart. Cherry doing the boring job with May, just getting that car into a position. Void, Trinity going down, but there we go. Cloudy with a couple of kills, takes down Split. He's on a 20-second respawn now, so no demo for the defending team. Eames goes in for another suicide, but can't get anything done. Gets taken down by that sentry once again, and Granger not getting in there, trying to make some space for himself in that spy, get into a good position, but can't get anything done. And Split is about to respawn Vox, so England didn't get anything done with that demo pick.
Yeah, I kind of like how they've got it set up right now, the US team. They've got Carl helping out on the flank, but it looks like they do want to commit. Yeah, the Euro team is going to or English team is going to come through. The air blasting coming back from the US team. Zakima's going to get the bulk of that Uber and then switch over to Split. So they've done a good job denying this. Cherry and Cloudy are going to get picked up in the process, but unfortunately for the English, not getting much. But then here comes a couple of frags. Split and Zakima do go down. This is a frag fest. Players being traded all around, but lucky for the US team, Skis has stayed alive. So they still have their medic and they still have a level 3 gun.
Yeah, there's no demo or no pyro for the USA. They are just respawning now, and as that teleporter is still up, he's just going to kind of get back straight into the action. No stopping. Boy, Trinity trying to make some space here, but just taking a look. There is a lot of spam going down on the cart. It's Emilia now just trying to push that cart forward. Zuki going really far forward, but Kronos gets taken down by the soldier. Kasi there takes him down. There's 2 players left alive for England. It is only Cherry and Void. And they're going to be able to do much against 8 Americans, but Ball is down, and you can hear that horn. That is a battalion's backup, which generally I normally see the Contra being used by soldiers, but it's in fact the battalion's backup, which is almost like a second Uber in the fact that you take so little damage when you use it. But Split is down again. He has died a lot, and we'll see if England can take advantage of it this time. But Skis is still 9% Uber box.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good bomb by Tom coming over the top. Takes out both Carson and Slimnish. So now it looks like with the sap going on the gun, the US team is thinking about backing up. And they do get the cart. Chocobo pulls the gun. He's trying to escape. Maybe they'll send someone or have the demo jump. No, it looks like they are going to allow Chocobo to escape with his gun. So we're going to see where he wants to build up. Yeah, it looks like he's going to be in...
The headshot from Boar takes down Kronos just as he walks up onto the cliff. Boom! One shot's all it took. Boar gets taken down in response by Cloudy, but that is still 100% Uber now for Ski. Sorry to interrupt you there, but huge play there by Boar.
No, it's good interruption. I always love that. We're gonna see. I mean, Eames and Emilio are down, so that's 2 big members of the combo. But maybe right now, with enough players down, you can send what little you have up to see if they can force Ceejaey. Actually, Ceejaey used the Uber. I completely missed that. They cleaned up a few members of the U.S. team, and they're gonna get aggressive onto the cliff. But it looks like they're probably gonna back out in just a second as the English team start to move forward. Carl's going to take down one on the cart. Boar's going to take down Chrono yet again. Oh, that's harsh.
What do we talk about sidelines at the start of the game? You give these snipers a chance that they are going to take that chance. Void is now onto the cart, trying to push it a little bit. Tom is going to take over that job now. We're probably going to get cleaned up here by Slemnish. He's just trying to get aggro onto that cart. Finally goes down there to the sniper of Boar, who is getting the big picks. And it seems like some of the English players are kind of winning some of the battles here. They're winning a little bit of a battle on the flank, and they're doing some stuff, but Boar is just taking down Kronos. If your medic's going to die, it doesn't matter what the rest of your team is going to do. It's extremely hard for your team to actually get anything done. As England start to walk through the tunnel now, going for maybe a side play, there is a sentry by Ceejaey. He's watching the main tunnel area. There is a battalion's backup coming out here from Kasi. He's going to try to protect his team there from the incoming damage from that choke. Eames goes down there to Kasi, and also, wow, lots of players going down, including Kronos. That battalion's backup push just being so effective to take down the medic. Frags coming in here for England. Chikabo goes down, as does his sentry, but it's not enough, Vox, to trade half your team just for an Engie and his sentry.
Yeah, it was Grenja was looking for that pick on Chikobo for a while, and then Tom came over the top to finish it off. I mean, getting the gun, Chikobo is still down for a couple of seconds. If they can get fast, and maybe he has a level 1, level 2 by the time you're pushing, but they're already pushed back. Harl is really aggressive, really forward as he takes down Cloudy. He's going to be backing up unscathed, it looks like, as a Void gets taken out by Boar, who's now on a 6k. I mean, not to get too much into it, but I mean, Boar's not used to having Razorback anymore. You know, it's banned in UGC Highlander. Maybe he's just loving the Machina and the Razorback.
Yeah, I mean, that is something, yeah. That is something, but actually some frags come in here for the USA. There was a bit of a push going in from the main tunnel just to get some capture, but once again, Kasi takes down Kronos. So before Kronos even gets Uber, he's dead again. And excuse me, that allows Skis just to use his Uber and get some frag for his team. Slemnish and Zuki going down there. So no Scout or Pyro, not that much effective, but Maze in on the medic. Can he get him down? No, he doesn't. Skis down to about 25 HP there. Finally does go down to the late bomb from Tom. So Tom deciding to take a page out of Carson's book and get a med pick for himself. So Kronos has an Uber advantage now. And 2 minutes and 36 seconds for the first point. Just over 2 minutes left for England to capture this second point. Big pressure for them so far. And Cloudy takes down Boar. So that is a big pick and a big advantage for England to work with now.
Yeah, Viper's gonna get the stab on Emilio on the cart, but I think with the gun down, I mean, Skis went down not too long ago, so, you know, they're at a pretty hefty Uber disadvantage, and then Boar going down. Tom bombs over the top, puts some damage forward, but doesn't combine with any kills. There goes Viper actually jumping on the cart, gets another stab, but it looks like they should finally cap this. Yeah, Eames is going to finish it off. It took a while, but they're finally there. At least you can continue. Chikobo went down late, though, which could be a problem, because that transition without a gun, with 100% Uber, assuming Kronos holds on to it, could be disastrous here for the American team.
Definitely, if your engineer doesn't get out and build a sentry on the next point, that is difficult as Cloudy once again gets another frag onto Boar. He's on a 3 kill streak here, and Kronos is at 100%, but Skis is at 90%, just around the corner. Void's the one making some space, trying to get some down. Cloudy with the collateral to take down Split. No demo for the defending team. Skis does have his Uber now, gets forced here, but he's only got Zuki to use his Uber on. The Pyro's going to try and push Eames away. He's going to try to surf it to safety. He does actually manage to do it as Cloudy's on a bit of a spree, takes down the Pyro as well. England starting to get a bit of momentum here. Take them 6 minutes and 40 seconds to get the first 2 points, but now they're starting to get very, very close to capping this third point. Cloudy finally goes down there as US starting to contest.
Yeah, I'm really scared here for the U.S. team, because if you overcommit here, you can risk getting pushed right through last. But it looks like they do at least have a decent hold set up. Chocobo is down yet again, and Carl as well. So, I mean, two big classes not there for the US team. It looks like Grenja is going to try to get into a position to get a stab, or maybe even take out Boar, because that pick is hyper valuable right now. No gun still they have to worry about, as Grenja actually gets the backstab onto Skis, so that's really big as he takes down Boar yet again. So Grenja comes up huge for the English team, and looks like they're going to be able to cap this next point.
Grenja's revolver aim is insanely accurate. He takes every advantage he has, and that's a huge play from him. No medic and no sniper as England starts to use it. That momentum, that space to get forward here. They've got that car. It took them just under 2 minutes to get to that third point. 8:22, starting looking a little bit healthier, but they need to get this last point within the next minute or so for it to be any sort of a decent time. Chocobo has a sentry up, but it's only a level 1 as Boar gets the snipe onto Cloudy. So England don't have the sniper advantage here, as Eames also goes down to Boar. Some pressure needs to go down onto that sniper man, as Grenja's in behind and does get the revolver kill onto him. So doesn't matter though, Vox, as behind enemy lines, Kronos goes down to Zuki.
Yeah, that's a big pick, that flank pyro. You gotta look out for it. There's more than one spy on the battlefield clearly when Zuki's playing. Grenja's gonna take down Carl, and just in the nick of time, there comes Split as well to take him out, because he could have revolvered down Skis, as we've seen him do with ease, one could say. But it looks like kind of a reset right now. The US team's getting up into tiles. They've got just a level 1 right now being built by Chocobo at spawn. But it looks like he is going to want to take it into tiles as well. That's that upper area you see most of the red team in. And it's up to England to figure out how they want to break this hold, because Skis does have 100% on his Uber.
Yeah, and actually there's some suicide coming in, and that's the drop! Coming in there, Tom with the bomb, just coming in underneath through the window, lands a couple of rockets and takes down Skis, 100% Uber out of the window, and it was Vox who made the space, who actually took down Boar as well. So he's going to be spawning medic and sniper for the USA, as Carl also went down quite late on there. So Kronos has Uber advantage now, he's at 95%, just about to get that full charge. England do lose their flank player, so probably not much cart pressure going on, as Cloudy opens the door, gets the frag onto Boar. The Uber was used there. I'm not sure why, Vox. I don't know if you saw anything that happened there.
No, I think maybe they just wanted to be sure. I mean, these are the hopefully the last few minutes for them. Zuki actually comes from behind yet again. It doesn't look like he's going to get the kill this time. But Carson comes through with 2 frags. Vipa gets one. Chocobo's gun is back up, a level 1 that's wrangled. I can maybe see why they would want to use the Uber, assuming he wasn't forced, but now, I mean, they're in a position where it might have just cost them this point. Trying to get out as Kronos, but Split and Carson combined for the frag, and the American team looks like they want to get this hold back up. This is getting really scary now for England.
It is. I mean, I was going to say earlier on, once you kind of get a reset on this last point, I think it only benefits the defending team, because it allows them to get into position and just calm themselves down, get a sentry up. And once you've got a sentry up, it's very, very difficult, because you can see the focus there. Cloudy does take down Chocobo with a headshot, so that sentry isn't so scary anymore. It's only a level 1, and a little bit of spam is going to take that down, as Cloudy takes down Split as well. So it looks like the snipers are really just taking their teams on their shoulders and just trying to push them over the finish line here. So no demo, no NG. Isaac, wow! Skis goes down there. I'm not sure how. I think Grenja did something, and Cherry just walked in and got his shotgun out, and bam, down with the medic. So huge advantage here for England. Kronos is at 60% Uber, and Emilio Estevez is in that window. He's going to be careful, because Viper's going to come in behind. He's going to take him down, Vox, but huge window for England to get something done here now.
Yeah, I mean, Ski's dying, blame the ping, right? There's no other reason. Blame the ping. It looks like they got the cart right there, trying to choke off the spawn. There is Void trying to air blast back to get it on the cart. I think they've got this. They've got enough players. Yes, they finally do cap the point. 11 minutes, 56 seconds, though. Not the greatest time, but you did say, I mean, we could either see fast times or slow times. So we'll have to see, does the U.S. team's offense stack up to their defense?
Absolutely, and I dare say it's harder for them to attack. If we're going to bring ping into it, I would say it's harder for them to make plays, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's totally not. Who knows? But 11:56 is not a time you would be happy with as an attacking team. I think England are going to be kicking themselves at about kind of some issues going on in that attack. Of course, I'm not sure this is a best of 1 or a best of 3. I'm not sure what the scenario is with these maps. I'm assuming it's a best of 3, but a lot of pressure on England here. They need to get some good holds. You know, they can hold them at any of the points on the map. or they can just hold last for longer than 11:56. But, you know, sometimes we do see some really strong holds on second and third. I feel that the third point was let go rather easily by the USA. The first 2 points were just so strong. But after that, they slipped away a little bit longer, and that last point was just kind of clawing away a couple of extra minutes where they could. But definitely a lot of pressure for England here, as they do set up themselves in a similar fashion to the USA. That sentry a bit further back, even more passive than Ceejaey's earlier. And we're probably going to see some suicides or something along the lines of that, as the first frag goes to Cloudy as he takes down a ball.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good advantage. That's the way you want to start it off. You know, your sniper getting that first pick. Cloudy's actually going to take out another one. That's Ceejaey that's down. I mean, this is a good start, but oh my god, Cloudy is on yet another 3. They've got to get him taken off. I mean, this is how Boar started, so it looks like Boar is actually going to get the counter snipe onto Cloudy. That may be how they want to push this, because Eames is down and now Cloudy is as well.
Yeah, no demo, no sniper. You can see the amount of space it's giving Boar. He's so far forward. He gets the sniper onto Void Trinity as well. So no Pyro. Kronos is very, very low there. He uses the Uber onto May here, the scout, and May's not managing to get any frags. He needs to get the Force or something, as the Force does finally come off there. Tom, I think, there bombed in from behind to take him down. Amelia down very late on, so he's got a 20-second respawn for him. As USA get that point when about a minute is all it took. And England, they've got 3 players still in the respawn queue and nothing set up on second, as America are getting very, very aggressive. But Cloudy gets the snipe onto Ball once again. And that battalion's backup is coming in here for the USA. They're going to get aggressive with it. Can they get anything done? That level 3 from Cherry gets taken back. Viper doesn't manage to get the stab as he floated past there. But so much pressure coming in from Kasi at the moment. I think he's a big factor of why USA are doing so well at the moment.
Yeah, it's I mean, just the amount of damage he's putting forward and the picks he was getting, I mean, on Kronos even the last round. Tom's going to take him out, though, so a little counter soldier going on there. I mean, they've got an okay hold, 100% on either Uber, but aggressive Uber here out of the English team. I like to see that. They're pushing him back. Skis is kind of just trying to escape at this point. Carl is stuck in, so they should be able to take him out. So it looks like they do a good job. Boar goes down as well. Ceejaey is actually over there on the edge of the cliff. I don't know what his plan is.
He's going to get behind. Oh, no, he's not. No.
What is he doing? Maybe get behind and put like a cheeky telly? Oh no, it looks like Emilio does spot him, but it was an interesting prospect. It's keeping it interesting there.
Yeah, I mean, if he didn't get rumbled, who knows what he could have done there. But like I said on that last point, a reset usually most often helps the defending team, as Viper comes in here and doesn't manage to get the stab, but it does cause enough distraction for Boar to get the body shot onto Cloudy, so that is sniper down. But England do have a decent setup here. They have a sentry position, they have a dispenser on that rock, but USA are so very aggressive, and the Uber comes in here. I'm not sure what happened there. Kronos uses Uber very, very early on, but it does mean that Amelia manages to get down, take down the medic somehow. I'm not sure where Skis was, but so much damage coming in from Eames. Just huge jump there just to get forward and get as much frags as he could. Sorry, as much damage as he could, which allowed his team to get the frags, as Kasi there gets taken down by Granger very, very close to the spawn. So another reset for England, and that's just taking off the time here, giving him a little bit more time, as Eames with those pipes, that Iron Bomber taking down Carl and Boar.
Yeah, I mean, this is looking just as good as the second hold that the U.S. team had. So I mean, all that great defense that they had, if they can't get this point, it doesn't mean much. So I really like England stepping up to the call here and really providing a strong defense. They do have about a 10-15% ad, so we might see U.S. push as soon as they get Uber. They're kind of playing a little passive, a little back, maybe see if they can buff Boar into a shot, and he does take out Cloudy. But Granger looks like he said, oh, Viper actually takes out Kronos, so that looks like that might have been a drop out of him, and this could be all the U.S. needs to get in, and here comes their Uber out of tunnel.
Yeah, I mean, if you want 2 frags, the sniper and the medic, including a drop, is the biggest, and you can just see the cleanup there. Carl's picking up a couple, Slemnish getting really aggressive and taking down some more. Emilio Estevez is on a 7-kill streak here, actually. He's still in tunnel. The cart is being pushed up. This could either be a big play or a bad play, as he's going to get cleaned up here, so it's going to be a late death from him. And May's coming in from behind. Can he take that medic? He does! No, he doesn't. He takes down Chico instead. Can he take down the medic as well? He doesn't manage to land those pistol shots, and he's going to get cleaned up there by Slemnish, but maybe a bit of a surprise there. It's just going to slow down the USA, but they do have an uber advantage. Skis is at 70% here, but Viper takes down Eames, and with that follow-up, there's only 3 players left alive here, Vox.
Yeah, this is looking like a pretty unfortunate transition for the English team. I mean, their medic is still alive, and their NG is building on last, so they're not completely out of this chasing with Slemnish, but gets saved. Kronos gets saved by that sentry up top. So, I mean, yeah, you lose the 3rd point, but hopefully you can get a strong defense here on 4th. Better to do this than to overcommit on 3rd and then just get rolled right into last.
Absolutely. Oh? I mean, wow, no, Eames there. Yeah. Was that a drop? I think that was a drop there with the Iron Bomber. Those pipes can be deceptively slow, and he lands them straight onto the medic. So maybe England are going to contest this. They do use their Uber. They've lost a few players, including Emilio and Tom. Those are 2 big damage dealers. But it does look like the rest of the players are in position, and the USA have hightailed it out of there. So England cut very close. It's all the way up to the barrier, but England are in position here, and just as we were about to talk about them giving up 3rd and getting a good hold on to last, it looks like they've pulled it back here. Battalion's backup push is going to get a couple of frags, including Eames, and USA are so aggressive here, Vox. They may be able to push this.
Yeah, I mean, this is the danger. I really like the call to get back in. You know, obviously they did it because they were confident they could. And smart to back out now. I mean, you held 3rd for a little bit longer than you were anticipating, but now you just got to make sure you protect your NG, but also Kronos goes down. Carson, very aggressive, very forward, takes him out. So it's all eyes on Cherry right now as he tries to build up the sentry. Cloudy doing a good job of protecting him, but then goes down to Boar, who gets the shot. Boar's trying to line up for the gun, maybe see the NG.
Yeah, May there just jumped into the window and took down Split with 2 meat shots, and he's kind of getting in behind and trying to cause some havoc. He's taking down the Dispenser as well, but Eames there gets backstabbed by Viper, so no Demo Man, and it looks like a very passive hold here coming in from England. The Uber comes in from the USA, trying to focus that sentry, but it's a level 3 and it's very far back. Void is just air blasting stuff away, but Chickabo and Zuki are on the cart. If that cart goes in, wow, Cloudy with the clutch shot there takes down Zuki just as the cart was about to go in, but there's 3 players left alive for England. One is Cloudy, one is Void, and there is a sentry still up. Heals are coming out here. Cronus is at 40%, so a slim advantage for so much time on the cart. Viper is trying to do it. May comes in. That's the me shot onto Slemish to take him down. That cart is so close. The alarm is blaring here, Vox, but the USA aren't able to push it in just yet. Fingertips here for England.
I mean, also, I just want to point, amazing job protecting that sentry as long as they could as well, because, I mean, it had killed 7 people, and continued to, even when Cherry went down, and hats off to England for, you know, recognizing that situation. Viper's going to try to get on the cart and try to cap it, but he's not going to be successful. It looks like US team is trying to push their way back into upper tiles area. And it looks like they might be relatively successful. They use Uber, though. England uses Uber into the U.S. team. A late pop comes back out of Skis, so it's a better Uber for the U.S., but we'll see if they can turn that into a last push.
Viper's on the cart here. He's just trying to get the sneaky cap. And Tom, with the job of trying to block that cart, gets sniped by Boar. So, I mean, that aggressive Uber coming in from England meant that the Uber was nowhere near the sentry, which allowed to stay up, but it's actually just a mini sentry here coming in from Cherry. So England have to be wary of that cart. 3.5 minutes to go. And it is equal Ubers here, but actually Skis has been building much better than Cronus. He's got about a 20% advantage. Zuki's on the cart now, and Slemnish is there. Tom's going to jump in. Zuki's so weak. That cart is so close. Viper's going to uncloak on the cart. Can he get it in? No, he can't. He gets taken down. Cronus is alive. Emilio Estevez and Eames are alive, but those are the only 3 English players left alive, as Chickabo is going to try and get on the cart now. No one's going to be able to block it, Vox, as the USA push it in for the round. And, wow, about 3 minutes left to go there for England to hold on, but they weren't able to do it. And I just think that was all down to the fact that their push was so slow. It gave so much time for the USA to work with, and in the end, they just kind of hammer and chiseled their way through until they managed to break England down and get that round.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't a specific, like, you know, it wasn't a, wow, great offense, you know, out of the US team. Like, I wasn't like, wow, okay, that was a very good push. That was really strong. It just came up to the fact that the better defense, or really you could say the poorer offense, out of England. So I mean, in the end, 3 minutes, yeah, but it seemed very close. Like, it seemed that second point was very similar between the two. I think first point was probably where a lot of that came from, because US held that for so long and England kind of lost it off of maybe the second sack wave or something like that, if I remember. But yeah, all said and done, actually a pretty close round between them. A lot of clutch plays as well.
Definitely, and it did seem the USA they basically just had to brute force it in the end. They just needed to get people on the cart, and with everyone else dying around, there weren't enough players to physically block or shoot at the cart to stop it in the end. And once you throw enough bodies on there, generally it's going to tumble its way in. We're going to take a look at the logs here, and already you can see the standout player was probably Bohr. 41 kills in 23 minutes, going absolutely ham there. Followed up by Carl on heavy, 34. So big plays coming out of Bohr and the combo class there, Carl. England, Cloudy on the sniper, also did very well for his team back there. Top fragging with 26 kills for his team. But in general, I mean, 75 frags coming out of the top two American players there. It just seems that Bohr was getting a lot of snipes, and Carl was just kind of winning the fights with his combo.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really want to push too much. I mean, obviously, Bohr doing that much is huge. So there's so much that you can say about it. But I mean, they gotta think about how they can counter it, because I took a look too. Cloudy was doing a decent job at counter sniping. I think in the beginning, Bohr kind of had the upper hand, but it only ended 9-7 in the SVS in the favor of Bohr. So I mean, Cloudy's doing his job. It's up to the other players to figure out how they want to counter him. If they want to play a little bit more passive, avoid those sight lines, or maybe just literally sack Grenja in any time you can to take him out. But you got to do something to neutralize that damage.
Absolutely. I mean, we said at the start, didn't we, how important Sniper was on this map, but it's not just about the snipers and how well they play, it's also about how well the enemy team can shut down your sniper. Can you deny the space? Can you, use the ambassador, get a headshot on him, means he's not going to peek for another few seconds, something like that. And it just seemed that Bohr had a lot more space on there. But when we look at the other stats there, I mean, both soldiers just came in behind there, 24 and 23 for Kasi and Tom. Tom died 31 times though. He seemed very much to be a player bombing in and just trying to make the openings, going for the med picks, whereas Kasi died 11 times. So nearly, 3 times as much deaths coming from Tom than Kasi. And I think Kasi just played that black box with the battalion's backup, just kind of playing that passive style, getting the damage and helping out his combo with those banners. So that just seemed to be very, 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 very equal in terms of that. But when you look at the other classes, Slemnish and May 22-20, Eames and Split 17 and 16, Viper and Grenja 15 and 14, Chikaba and Cherry both got 14. Like the classes are pretty much standard across the board. So I mean, in the end, I think I don't know. I mean, I think the difference was just better openings from the USA, and they were just much more aggressive. And that first attack, it took a long time for England to get into gear.
Yeah, I mean, Bohr and Carl pretty much the only, I can't say the only difference makers, that's ridiculous, but I mean, big difference makers when you look at the logs. And I mean, I was going to point that out as well. It looks like pretty much class by class, everyone's pretty much the same there, within a couple of frags of each other. And then you got those two big standouts. So it'll be interesting to see. I mean, it looks like they're going to have a little time. I was told that the US team might be stolen just a bit, so they could try to get one of their other players, ODB, who's a fantastic demo. They might try to get him in here if he's got time to connect. But I mean, it's really, England's got to take this time to figure out how they want to deal with Bohr. I mean, I'm sure they're no strangers to strong snipers, so that knowledge is there. They just need to figure out who needs to step up where, and how they put that plan into action.
Absolutely. And if we see any roster changes, we'll be updating you on who's going to be playing what class. But I mean, it's very hard to kind of to isolate a point. Generally, it's just the plays, and I think pushing in those first 2 points, there's a couple of snipes there from Ball onto Kronos, just standing in the wrong place at the wrong time, and then Kasi there with another couple of med picks later on using those banners just to take the space in the side tunnel. Like we said, if your medic's dying when you're trying to push, it can be very demoralizing. You think, oh, let's get ready for a push, and then your med's down. And if it keeps happening, then it can really, you start to think, well, should we do a different push? Should we amend our tactics or something like that? And I just think USA put their foot down and just said, right, this is how we're playing, and you're really going to have to do something special. And mistakes happen, but the USA, once those mistakes happened from England, USA took full advantage. So coming into the next round, I think that England are going to be more warmed up now. I think if they were to start now on the attacking round, I think they would set a faster time. But it is going to be swapped. We do swap teams in payloads, so USA will be attacking first, and they'll be trying to set as fast time as possible, and then England will be trying to beat it. And in your point of view, like what's better? Like, do you prefer attacking or defending first?
I mean, I know that the general consensus is people like defending first, but I'm a little weird. I actually like attacking first personally. I like to set a time, and then I just know I need to hold out just for that long to do it. It's people think attacking is the more difficult side, and I could definitely see defense definitely has more options available to them, but get rid of the hard side first. And then you know exactly how much you need to do whenever you're defending. Whereas I feel like if you defend first and then you have to just you have to beat that time, sometimes you can get a little overconfident. You can get to your own head, and I don't know, that's just personal preference of mine. But I've heard most players like to defend first.
I don't mind attacking first. I agree with what you said there. Like once you attack, then you've set yourself a time and you're aware of how much time you need to hold on for, and you can judge, okay, like we really need to hard hold this point, or hey, we can give up second, we can just move to third, we can just give ourselves a little bit more space. Some people think of it the other way around. They're like, hey, I'm going to defend, and once we know how long we have to attack, then they can either put themselves under pressure or try some different strats. But yeah. We'll see how it goes. If we do go to a best of 3 on this map, we'll see which team decides kind of what's their way of thinking. Obviously, on a team with 9 players, generally you get conflicting opinions, and it's like, who wants to attack first? Half the team wants to do one thing, and half the team wants to do with the other. But Kasi is leaving the game at the moment, so I'm gonna deduce from that, Vox, that Split is going to go over to Soldier, and you said it was
ODB.
ODB is going to be playing Demo. He played Demo for the States against France the other day. So yeah, back to maybe a bit more normality for them.
Yeah, he's a very strong Demo. I mean, Split did a lot of work in that half. ODB, I would say, probably is more DM heavy than Split is. So we'll probably see maybe a little bit more highlight reel. But I mean, how much is it really going to change? I'm not too sure. I think maybe some people or some Americans who are watching call me crazy, but I mean, Split did really well on Demo and that, and ODB can only improve upon that, I think. So it's just another weapon in the arsenal of the American team. But I mean, this is a best of 3. I have full confidence that the English team has gone back to the drawing board. They're figuring out what they need to change, and they're working on it. Especially, I believe you when you say, how big their brains are. So I know that they're not going to lie down and think, oh, all right, this is an utter defeat. Let's get ready for the next map.
Absolutely. And you were talking about Split there. He did actually he did get 4k less damage than Eames. So Eames was pumping out that damage that game. But Demo is a class that, it is projectile, and maybe, on that ping it is a bit of a struggle, but he's going back to a class that he's played in a previous knockout game, and, ODB did very well. He picked up a ton of frags for the USA against France. So, yeah, maybe an upgrade, like you were saying, but I think I don't doubt the talent, and I don't doubt the brains from either team, but there has been a lot of talk in chat. I don't think you can see it on stream, but there has been a lot of back and forth between these two teams. And my question is the tilt factor. If any players start getting frustrated and start getting on kind of their brains in the wrong phase, in the wrong state of mind, that may affect their gameplay in the coming round. And I think once you start doing that, it's a bit of a downhill struggle there, because it's very hard to get back from losing a round and being halfway through a round and still frustrated. So hopefully all of that anger has been flushed out, and we're ready for the next game. So like we said earlier, Split has been moved over to Soldier with ODB in on the demo. USA in the blue, they'll be attacking first. England will be defending and trying to beat that time later on. And I mean, what do England need to do to make sure their defense is a little bit more solid this time around? Because on that first point, they only held up for about a minute.
Yeah, I think I hate to just beat the same drum, but you got to worry about Boar again. I mean, he went off pretty. I think actually in the beginning, Cloudy got taken out. I can't remember if it was from Boar or from a Soldier Bomb, but Cloudy needs to stay up and he needs to be there to counter snipe for a bit, because that's how the North American team was so successful on their first defense. So Cloudy started off right. He's got 2 frags, so now they've got to make sure his team. The team protects him. Actually jumping over the top is ODB. Actually goes in for the suicide wave and takes out Cloudy. Zuki, Slemnish, Vipa, and Split all get taken out. But they've got some time now before Cloudy's going to come back to the battlefield.
I'm gonna counter, like ODB there, you saying was an upgrade. I'm gonna counter. I'm sure Split is an amazing soldier, but Carson was my MVP that previous round. Like, he was the MVP of that first round. His battalion's backup plays and his positioning, his timing was just perfect. So, you know, I'm gonna say maybe that might be a shock to the system, as we are kind of back in here, 9v9. Skis is out with a full Uber. He has to be careful as Cloudy is up and watching. As Viper tries to go in there, but gets taken down by the sentry of Cherry. And wow, headshot there from Boar is going to take down Eames, but Ski goes down to Cloudy. That is medic down. Frags are coming in left, right, and center here as the Uber is used by Kronos just to clean up anybody else who happens to be alive. Carl is alive and Boar is alive, just trying to get some headshots down here. But huge play there from Cloudy just to take down Skis at just the right moment, and that is a +2 if you please.
Yeah, I'm surprised, you know, it took them so long to push. I mean, it's okay if you want to take your medic out whenever the sniper is up. Obviously, you got to be careful, but they had Skis out for a while. They were tempting fate for too long, and of course, Cloudy was going to hit that shot, and he does, so... I mean, this might spell disaster for the American team. It looks like they want to get aggressive because they know they don't have to worry about an Uber either from the English team. So they are trying to put a lot of damage forward. ODB is trying to get anything onto that gun, but great job protecting it right now is Void, and you know, Cherry trying to heal it as best he can. They've got the car really, really close, though. It looks like they may be able to cap it even without the Uber, but Ski's actually on 100%. Cloudy gets taken out. This might be their opening, as Ubers do get traded.
Yeah, Ubers are traded, and that car hasn't actually gone over across yet. As USA lose Chikobo, probably one of the car pushes, and the sentry's trying to be focused. It's being wrangled. Void just doing a great job there. Protecting that sentry, so it's allowed to get out there in the hands of Cherry. Going to get it set up for that second point, but a late death coming out both Eames and Emilio Estevez means there's no combo classes to help Kronos, as Void also goes down to the pipes. Kronos trying to get out of it, and I pretty much think that second point is free to take for the USA as Granger goes in for the medic, but doesn't manage to get too close. And it is 50% for both teams. I don't think England are going to want to contest this, so Vox. There's just too much spam, too much control from the US on this second point. As actually Emilio comes out, and frags are coming in. Emilio takes down Carl, and the USA kind of back off here. They're just a little bit worried about that pure aggression as Carl and Ball just went down there for free.
Everything we say, the English team does the opposite. So if you tell them to lose, maybe they'll come through with a win in this one. But yeah, it looks like they're gonna get back onto this point. Vipa does get the backstab now onto who's that? Oh, sorry, onto Eames, and actually forces the Uber out of Kronos. I don't know if he needed to. Maybe he was low and got a sandwich or something, and that's why he's back at 150. But he does force to just a spy with a gun, which is scary. So. Skis is going to be at 100%, and they might want to push him in. They do have to deal with the gun. It already gets taken out. They haven't used Uber just yet. Maybe, I don't know if you can sack someone forward right now and force the Uber out, or no, it looks like they're just going to try to get out with their lives here.
Yeah, they did hold it on for probably longer than they expected after that kind of first initial roll across the cliff, but 4 minutes and 2 seconds. That's probably an average time for the first 2 points, but you just look at the aggression coming out of the USA already. Ski goes down though! Skis is down, and there's a backstab from Grangerbo, another drop to add to his collection. Perfect timing from the Spy, and USA getting cleaned up here. Carl going down, Split going down as well. And Eames' death there was pretty much irrelevant at the start of that fight, as Cronus is at 90% now. Cloudy starting to warm up again, getting a second frag in a row onto Chicabo, and Cronus at 100% now, so you know, there's been some odd pops and some odd forces coming out of England, and I think now they just need to settle down and calm themselves and say, hey, look at the car, it's really far back, let's get ourselves into a good position and just wait for them to come to us and frag. And it's up to the USA right now, it's up to them to make a play. You know, they're 30% away from an Uber, as May doesn't manage to get onto the medic, and they're just trying to push the cart here.
Yeah, Cloudy is down, so that might open up a sightline for Boar. ODB gets taken out, and so does Chikobo. So ODB being down means that when they get this Uber, they're probably going to have to wait a little bit longer for him to get in. Skis drops down near the cart, which is the scary position to be. Luckily, Tom isn't there to bomb over the top. But I gotta see, yeah, Skis is rotating over towards the mid side. Doesn't have his demo with him just yet, but has 100%. It's weird to me. Skis is playing in kind of a no man's land right now, not playing protected or safe, but it looks like it might just be a solo Uber onto ODB as they start to get aggressive. A few players down on either end, but there's the Uber. ODB getting forward, spamming that gun. Kronos does use his, but it's pretty far back. He's just actually Ubering Cloudy, who's trying to get some picks, but it looks like it should be a successful point.
They say about good medics drop Ubers, bad medics drop players. Skis there used his Uber. He was going to die. There was a good bomb there by Tom, and he had to use his Uber to stay alive, and he just got all of his team in there, just tried to keep him alive. But on the England side, they had an Uber, and they actually would have had a better Uber, but they didn't use it until very late, and by that time the entire combo was dead. That was Void, Emilio, and Eames were all dead. So that's allowed USA to get this third point. 6 minutes and 14 seconds only. So already faster than the time earlier on, and with a Cherry down, that's not going to be Sentry for last in time for the Uber to be coming in, and Boar is in position. Actually does get taken down there, vaporized by Cloudy Shooting Star. So 100% in the hands for Skis. They can make their way in now. Kronos at 75%, doing some sort of passive hold here as USA is starting to get into position.
Yeah, I mean, 100% here. Kronos is only 10% away from his Uber, so they should have Uber to defend with whenever the US decides to use theirs. Taking a look, it looks like just a mini sentry out of Cherry. Doesn't feel like he's going to have enough time to get the level 3. And I'm watching Boar, I'm watching Cloudy. This is going to be the fight for the ages. Actually, Boar's going to get taken out by May, so he does the counter, the sniper's job for him, which I'm sure Cloudy is very appreciative of. Vipa goes in for something, but gets utterly denied as his withering corpse falls into the pit. But I mean, the US has just been holding on to this Uber for a while. They're waiting for their opening, but no one's getting the pick they need to get in. So someone's gonna have to step up soon, or else the US is just gonna sit on this Uber for forever.
Yeah, I mean, it gets to a point where you think the perfect opening isn't going to present itself, and you have to just kind of, maybe let's just go in and exchange and try to get some space and get some players pushing the cart, because at the moment, all the focus is just on the cart. No one's able to push it really at all. It's just so much spam going down there as one of the England players are shooting. It's Split and Tom are just trading rockets from the balcony to the window, just back and forth. Like, I think Boar's just waiting to try to land a shot on Tom. He actually does. He's going to get taken out there by Slemnish. He just charges in. But I mean, taking down the flank, this position is just going to give a little bit of ground for the USA. And again, they're just going to be playing around Boar, trying to get that snipe and get some sort of pick to open the door for them to get in here.
Yeah, I mean, the flank going down can take out some of your cart deniers, but looks like they're going to respawn before that's an issue. The sentry gun does go down, ODB gets it, but no Uber used just yet, and the American team has lost 3 players. Looks like respawns are coming in for them soon. But actually an Uber used out of the English team. I don't think anything forced them there. They just wanted to get aggressive and maybe saw Skis was forward. Wait, Skis did go down.
Yeah, Skis dropped there as the Uber came in. May just came in and just boom, boom, 1 shot, 2 shot, 2 quick ones. Took him down there. But it does mean that that space was taken, and USA have responded with some aggression of their own, and a lot of players are down, and Chikabo's just pushing that car. Finally gets taken down by Emilio, who's still in that window, drops down onto Carl. Heavy versus heavy action. Emilio on a 7-kill streak right now, as he starts to clean up a few players from the USA, but they still have a good position. Kronos is trying to get out here, but he's going to get taken down, and the car just gets pushed, Vox. Oh. What the hell just happened there?
I don't know if anyone saw. I don't know exactly what the camera saw, but it looked like May tried to jump for the cart and ended up falling into the pit, and Vipo was able to cap because no one else was around. Oh no.
You use your Uber, you get the medic drop, and then I guess it was just a simple overextension. They just got too aggressive. The spawns from the USA came in, cleaned them up, and everyone was just out of position. I mean, I saw Kronos jumping out of the window on fire, and sort of Emilio was in a different window. They all just seemed to be separated. So yeah, I mean, 9 minutes and 20, probably more of a standard time I was expecting to see in this game. And definitely, I mean, it's about the time that England pushed in the last round. So they just need to get held for the last round. So they just need to get a better attack here. And if they push faster than 9:20, then they're going to draw this game into a tie. We're going to a best of 3. We'll go to a third map on Upward before we even move to our second map. But I mean, yeah, definitely still pressure on England. I mean, it's a decent time, but you still need to do well. You can't make too many mistakes with less than 10 minutes to play with.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, this is entirely beatable, but you can't get sloppy. You didn't afford yourself that much time. So it looks like jumping over the top already is Tom. He wants to get in, but Carl is there defending on Playground to take him out. I thought maybe he'll be successful, but Carl just kind of played a little peekaboo and popped up and mowed him down. But getting the cart forward right now, May and Void just trying to get it into position so whenever they do use their Uber, it's not too far off. So doing their job there. Just waiting to see how they're going to commit to this fight, but decloaks and actually takes out Emilio. Cherry goes down to Boar. Void gets picked up. Cloudy goes down. Eames and Tom, they sent everyone and they lost everyone, but that's fine. You know, this is your suicide wave. You wait for your respawns, but pretty soon this is time to commit. You can't have too many more of these.
No, I mean, the cart's in position now, and there's not really an excuse not to bring your medic out, as it does look like Kronos is starting to venture out, but Eames goes down, so that's going to put a stop to that. And I mean, I was just going to say about Skeezy's positioning here. He's kind of near the dispenser and near the health pack. I think that's a very common space to get bombed. But there we go, Tom and Amelia going down there. But Chikabo gets backstabbed by Granger, and the sentry is going to get sapped. So no level 3 for the next push. Chikabo in the spawn queue for another 10 seconds. So Kronos can come out here, bring his Uber out, and England can probably start to contest this and maybe get a trade going worth their while.
Yeah, Boar's trying to peek from Playground, but it looks like he might have a sightline. Oh, he gets Eames. He had a sightline on Kronos, but I think saw the pick onto Eames as being easier there. Looks like the Uber does get used, charging forward Void, but not getting too much off of it. The Uber came out later from the US team, so they're able to flash a bit and clean up as the Uber faded. Cloudy is going to take out ODB, so that's no demo for the US team. It looks like they might be able to cap this. Getting ready to back out is the US team. Cloudy picks up Skis with a last-second shot. Beautiful fadeaway off of him there.
Ball responds in kind and takes down Kronos. I have no idea where he was. He just seemed to be really far forward, and just waited for that head to pop into the sightline, and boom, took it clean off. So it is going to be equal Ubers. Both meds died at the same time, so it's probably still not that worse of a death for Kronos, as America are bleeding players. Cloudy on a 4 kill streak. Granger takes down Chikabo again and gets the sentry sap, so he's just been on the back of Chikabo so far this game. And England are in a decent position now. 6 minutes and 40 seconds left for them to push all the way to last, but they're in total control of this second point. And if Kronos builds this hard, then he should have a small advantage, although that is slipping away, as both medics are just trying to buff up their team and keep them alive. But 3 players quickly down there for England. Doesn't matter, they've got the second cap and they can start to move this forward, as Cloudy on a 5 kill streak is starting to turn it on here, Vox.
Yeah, Boar was very aggressive there. He got a pick, I think, onto Cherry on the cart, but he stayed in too long, ends up going down. Afforded Cloudy a chance to get something done, but looks like Carl was aggressive enough to take him out, and he was low. now it's just all up to the English team to figure out how they want to get in here. There's a lot of American bodies on that point. Boar's going to take out May, but Grenj is going to get Carl. Only a level 1 right now. They're waiting for Emilio to make his way back from spawn, but the cart is pretty far back. This is always an interesting position. Do you use early, try to go with the opening, or do you wait for your cart to get in a capable position? But it looks like they do want to get forward, putting some damage on the cart. The gun was Eames getting forward. Kronos has got to be careful though. He's really far forward. He can get caught in if no one's watching his back. But it looks like his team is there, and they should be able to cap up on this point with plenty of time to take last.
Yeah, Cloudy's really far forward here, just trying to get an early snipe, and he does take down Ball with the body shot. So big snipe by him. And that's going to give a little bit more space here for England, and because that Uber was used, it does mean that it's pretty much equal, but a small advantage here for Kronos. So again, he could use that to his advantage and get England in here and get some frags. Boar is down for another 5 seconds, but Cloudy is also dead. But ODB goes down there, and Granger gets a backstab onto Carl. So Void just going straight up the stairs there, getting so aggressive, and that combo for USA is down, as Skis also went down. I'm not sure what happened there. I think it was just Void going in and getting a 5k there, Vox.
Yeah, I mean, Chocobo already has a gun up, but there's not too much around besides Boar, of course, who hits the shot, as you would expect. The gun does go down. There's not too many players here from the English team that can do much at this point, but Skis goes down. Grenja coming up absolutely huge for England in this round. As he takes out Skis, takes out Carl now. If they can get this gun and Kronos can distribute the heals well, maybe they can take this without Uber. I don't know. Oh, they've lost a lot here, though.
They lost a lot of players, but Kronos stayed alive. He's at 20%, so they are going to have a sizable advantage if they push this on the dot. So it's up to Skis to get himself into a position here to hold... Excuse me, to hold this as he's still on the minigun. But Grenjabob has definitely been just absolutely pounding at the moment. ODB on 2 HP. Has to get an arrow there from his medic just to stay alive. Big bomb in from Tom. That's one rocket. Oh my word, that second rocket was so close to taking him down. But Cloudy takes down Boar, and then he takes down Viper as well.
Oh, that shot was amazing. I'm sorry. That was a nice shot by Cloudy there.
Just one of those quick flicks as the spy charges straight in front of him, but it doesn't matter as there isn't much cart present, and Chocobo still has a level 3 up in the window. But Grenjabob with the revolver just pulls it out and takes down Skis. How did Kronos die there, Vox? I was too busy watching Grenjabob take down Skis, but it looked like Kronos died at the same time.
I didn't catch it either, unfortunately, but that's not good. I mean, it looks like they keep getting themselves in positions where they could win, as it looks like we may have a pause here. They keep getting themselves in a position where they could win, and then they lose a player. I mean, Kronos, obviously, when you lose your medic, that completely screws you, but it's like last second either... I don't know if it's the U.S. team just making excellent plays or bad positioning off of the English team, but it's really, really stumping their push.
Absolutely. I mean, they've been very, very close, but they've been very close for a while now, and they've just got to, don't be confused by the timer ticking down if you see it on the screen. It's still about 2 to 3 minutes left for them to get this last push, and that's totally doable. Again, we're kind of seeing a similar feature to what we saw in the first round, where the USA basically just brute forced it in the end, and if England do the same, then it's most likely to end in a cap for them, and they will tie this map up and take it to a golden cap. But at the moment, I think it's Grenjabob who's just kind of turning it on. He's just, his name is Brucey Bonus, and he's definitely the Brucey Bonus for his team right now. I mean, he's just getting so many key picks. I mean, getting frags is one thing, but getting frags on classes that's going to make a difference in the game is something totally different. I mean, he's at 47 points and 2 domination. He is, the highest pointing player for England, and he's just creating openings for England, and at the moment, the rest of his team owe it to him to try to get in there.
Yeah, this is, I mean, calling Grenja's name so much, it's been really, really impressive to see him. I mean, he was doing well in the first half, but he's come alive here, and it's meant the world for the English team as they continue to get here. I mean, like you said, there's about 3 minutes left. They've got plenty of time. They got to wait for for Kronos to get an Uber and just get one good push. They've shown that they have the ability to get themselves into a position to cap. They just need to get that final catalyst and then walk the card in. A lot easier said than done, though, of course.
Absolutely. I mean, in theory, like, you know, you can win Highlander games in theory, but once you put it into practice, you've got to take in a slightly random element of a spy being there waiting for you around a corner, or a sniper getting that pixel perfect headshot. Apparently, we're just waiting for Boar, who timed out and he's reconnecting for us to finish this game and to finish this second round. It was a late start. For those of you just joining us, this is England versus the USA. It is the second quarter final so far of the 5th edition of the ETF2L Highlander Nations Cup. The winner of this will go on to face Germany in the next round, as we are live again. So England are going to have to try and take the Uber advantage and do something with it. Take it all the way to last and make some sort of opening to get that car into the pit and tie this, as they are 1-0 down. USA winning the first round of this map, as we were a little bit delayed here, and May starting to just force his way through here. Lands a couple of meat shots onto Carl, but nice pipes from ODB is going to take him down, and Eames also went down there, but Cloudy gets the snipe onto Boar, gets the body shot onto him, and that maybe will be an opening for some players to make a play.
Yeah, this is looking good. I mean, with Boar down, get Cloudy in a position. Oh no, Cloudy goes down to Slumnish. Kronos goes down as well. ODB lands the fat pipe before eventually dying, but that's the stuff. I mean, they're swarming the point. They forced the Uber out of skis. They could have gotten some pressure on the sentry gun, but Kronos being down completely ruins this push. So they've got a lot of players coming through that teleporter. It looks like they may be ready to go because of those long respawns. Void gets taken out, so they got to worry about Boar. But it looks like all the respawns have come through for the American team now, and we're back to a little bit of a reset.
Absolutely. I mean, those spawn timers are just so much faster for the attacking team that if England just start to throw players, they can start to maybe get an advantage here. Slemnish goes down, Zuki and Split all go down as well, so that's 3 down for the USA, as Grenchball's trying to do a stair stab onto Carl, but he's too wise for that one. But that sentry is the one causing the problems. Chickabow just using that rescue ranger just to keep it alive, as this is where the pause happened. We're just waiting for the timer to catch up and everything like that. Lincoln have got a good position here, but Emilio goes down to the pipes. Chickabow sentry goes down to Cloudy. He's landing some snipes down, trying to get some more picks here. England have used the Uber on the floor. Cart time is happening, and USA are just getting pushed back into their spawn here. Zuki's in on the cart and he picks up 2 frags. Kronos has to get out of there just to save his life, but gets taken down by Carl on the retreat. And 4 players left alive for England.
I'm surprised the Uber didn't go to spawn with them. It stayed mostly by the cart. So, I mean, maybe if you had your demo forward and staking off, that could have done them a pretty big service. Emilio gets taken out by Boar. But now Skis is sitting on 100%. So unless they get to him, they drop him, force him soon. With, you know, about 15 seconds left or 10 seconds left, they might be able to use and just ice them out here. Getting onto the cart is Void, but he's going to get taken out. Grenja takes down Carl, which is not a bad pick, but you know he has his eyes on Skis. 23 seconds remaining, and this is do or die time for England on this map.
Yeah, they're losing players as USA use their Uber, and England need to get players on the cart right now, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen. 3 players down for them on the respawn, and nobody near. Cherry's trying to get towards that cart, but there's a level 2 blocking it. May's there, and he gets launched away as Kronos gets body shot by Boar again, and Chickabow Sentry is just doing the tidying up job as USA hold on to that last point despite a very, very fast and aggressive push from England on the first 3 points. They've managed to hold it off to make it 2-0 on Upward, which was of course England's choice. And that's going to be demoralizing to lose your own map choice in a whitewash. We'll be moving over to Product next, which was America's choice. And they'll be trying to see if they can seal it in a 2-0 here, Vox, or England trying to bounce back and take it away to steal. But what happened there on the last point? What was the difference with England just looked in full motion? They looked like they were going to absolutely take it, and then it just started going wrong on that last point.
Yeah, I think, you know, kind of touched on it a bit during the pause, but just not being able to finish the plays. You know, they got everything 75% in terms of what they needed. You know, they got picks, the sentry was being pressured, they had positioning, and then, you know, Eames would go down to Boar, who gets a headshot, or Kronos dies in some mysterious way. I feel like I couldn't keep up sometimes with like the ways that he would go down. And I mean, it's not like Ceejaey was infallible either. I mean, he got dropped a few times, and wasn't exactly having. Again, blame the ping and everything, but I mean, either way, neither medic had a pristine game in any sense, but it was really up to Kronos and the English team to make sure that he was well protected in order to use that Uber, which is the nail in the coffin for these kinds of pushes.
Absolutely, and I'm just taking a glance at the logs now, and once again it's Boar with the top frag, this time getting 33 kills in 23 minutes. And ODB there, I said earlier on, he put out some insane damage and frags against France. He's done the same again here, going 27-8. A nice 4.9 KD there, and a plenty of damage to boot. And Slemnish there, 25 kills. We were talking about scouts. Now they can be quite effective on the payload maps when they're just kind of cleaning up. He got 25, just ahead of Cloudy, who once again top fragged for England, 23. And we were talking about the sniper v sniper, and you take a look. Cloudy got 6 frags, and Boar got 4 frags. So Cloudy winning, just edging the sniper v sniper that time, and I think it was pretty much equal across both games then. So, the snipers have been equal. It's just that Boar is just getting so many frags elsewhere, and he's not being shut down by the rest of the English team.
Yeah, I mean, Granger got to him 4 times, and actually, I'll let me take a look. Oh no, sorry. I was looking at the wrong list. Did Granger? No, Granger didn't get on Boar at all, it looks like. And I mean, maybe that has to do with it. I mean, Granger was getting a lot of picks elsewhere, so it's kind of understandable if he wasn't focusing down the sniper. But maybe that's something they need to take into product and throw Granger more often to harass Boar and keep him off, because I mean, we're going from upward, which obviously DM is involved in everything in Highlander, but I mean, product, I feel, is going to be a map where a DM-heavy team can dominate. So if it already looks like the U.S. team with Boar coming up strong, Slemnish, and ODB, as we just saw in this half, I mean, it kind of worries me for product here for the English team. So we'll have to see what they come up with and how they want to kind of neutralize that threat.
Absolutely. I mean, I talked about this before with Sigafu and how, the USA sort of picked maps like this, maybe feeling that their DM was better and that it was the least ping affected game mode. And yeah, I mean, if you've got ODB putting out damage and staying alive in right positions, I think that was the most important thing. He died 8 times. The only person who died less than him was in fact Kronos with 7. So he died less than pretty much everyone else on the field. He got frags and he put out damage. So if your demo is doing that, that's very, very effective. And looking at the rest of the players, like everyone chipped in. Granger Bob got 5 med picks there, so that was more than anybody else. I mean, the next highest was Boar with 3. Everyone else got a maximum of only 1. So Granger Bob getting the med picks, maybe not the sniper focus. Maybe that needs to go to somebody else. If he's getting the med picks and he's creating those openings for your team, maybe May or Tom need to be the ones to focus the sniper, just put that pressure onto Boar so that he's not getting that free scope time all the time. But taking a look, I mean, Carl down there, less frags this time around, going 15 for 13. But again, most of the classes are pretty much equal. And again, I just think it was the fact that there was lack of coordination in the final pushes. England had the openings. There was a medic kill or a demo kill, and then when they got themselves together, it all just kind of went a little bit wrong.
Yeah, and seeing if there's any last things I can kind of glean off these logs before we look forward to product. But I think we've touched on pretty much everything. It's really up to the English team. I mean, it's a different map, different game mode. Koth versus payload. So I mean, there's a lot that can change here. This isn't said and done, and we are playing a best of 3 maps, guys. So it's not like England is out of it already. If they take product, we're gonna go on to Steel, which I mean, I'm looking forward to seeing. So yeah, I mean, just like you said, I mean, maybe getting onto Boar or Tom. I mean, this is a map that it's entirely possible that your flank can absolutely dominate the sniper. It's if you get an aggressive hold, they can basically choke them out at spawn if they can go through one of the 3 choke points out of spawn and just kind of keep them back. So we'll have to see them step up here.
Yeah, I've just been slipped some logs. Just some cheeky logs here from one of my sources. Sinrise giving me combined logs. And just taking a look across the entirety of Upward there in 46 minutes. Add a couple of minutes there for the pause, perhaps. Tom got 41 frags. Slemnish 47, Cloudy 49, Carl also 49, and then Boar with 74. So, I mean, there is a clear scenario there. There is a clear player who needs to be focused down, I think. And if England are spending some time in between maps just to discuss their plan for this, if you let a sniper, I mean, I've seen some ridiculous plays on this map, Vox, in ETF2L. A couple of seasons ago, we had a player called Flo who got about 700 DPM on this map in a game, and it was just insane. And then season before, I think it was, Cloudy managed to get 800 DPM on this map, going on an absolute spree. And both snipers are performing well, but if Boar is given the freedom again on this map, I can just see him tearing England a new one. So I'm sure their tactics are going to be revolving around how do we counter the threats that are affecting us right now.
Yeah, it's looking for. I'm a little nervous just because of the showing on Upward, but it's these are all high level players. They know how to put the losses behind them and come through strong. If they can prevent Kronos from being obliterated behind, and I hate always like hammering home about snipers and things like that, especially when we mentioned 100 times. But I mean, it's just the fact of the matter that they do need to get onto Boros. So I'm interested to see how aggressive they're going to play. I think a lot of times when I watch some North American Highlander, don't see many forward holds. Players tend to stay right around the point and hang out there, keep their teams or their combo in pocket, which is, depending on if you're on the blue side or the red side, just that rock that you hide behind next to the cliff. So maybe if England gets out really aggressive and puts their focus forward, they might be able to catch it off guard. But maybe we'll see the US team be very aggressive and kind of play outside of that normal meta.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it does kind of, you have to question how these mid fights are going to go down, and I think if a team can get a forward hold going, I think that's going to be very, very difficult for the enemy team to break with the plays that are available. And it's I really think the mid fights are going to be very, very important. I think that's going to be the deciding factor on most of these rounds. Not because you win the mid fight, you win the game, but I think if you win the mid fight, it's going to be easier for you to get in control, and the team that gets in control at the point first and gets set up, I think is going to have a big advantage, because the way that the way that we saw on Upward, where the teams were kind of struggling to make openings in the defense, I think that's really going to be the case, and that's definitely going to come down to, can the snipers get the early picks? Can the demos, shut off the correct areas and put out the damage at the right time? Can the soldiers do good bombs and pick up can we see soldiers bombing snipers or bombing medics and getting those early frags? It remains to be seen how these players are going to play. There's so many different ways for each class to play this map, and the way they play it could be absolutely crucial on the way that on the way this map turns out. And like you said, this is USA's pick. They're probably feeling a lot less pressure now. If they'd lost the first map, then hey, this is our map now, we have to win, otherwise we're out of the competition. But right now, they've just won their opponent's map. They can sit there and they can just say, hey, this is our map. Even if we lose it, there's a third map that we can go to.
Yeah, I mean, being in terms of mindset, that's really important. I wonder if maybe on the English side there's a little bit more scrambling. Obviously you just got to stay cool under that kind of pressure, and maybe just being relaxed is going to be the key here. Just play it like any other scrim, or what I know over in the EU, you guys call scrims something a little different.
Yeah, we call them PCWs.
PCWs, that's
very
it.
old school, very old school. Practice Clan Wars. That was that was something that was said back in like the 90s or something. I remember playing CS 1.3. It's like, oh, we got to practice Clan War, guys. We got a PCW. People just say PCW now. I'm not sure how many people actually know what it stands for. But yeah, scrims or PCWs. Yeah.
Yeah, just treat it like that. Go out there, have a little fun. Don't get in your own head and let that fear get to you. The other thing too is the atmosphere of the Mumble. Like, are they tilted? They were really close. You lost your map. Is that gonna factor into things? So they're gonna have to make sure they stay level headed, because they definitely do. We saw Cloudy come out and hit some insane shots. And in terms of SBS, it was dead even over the course of upwards. So, Cloudy is definitely capable of keeping Boar down, and he's capable of hitting the shots. But he's got to also make sure that his team is allowing him to do so. And I think that's one thing, to point out. On that first point, Carl, for upward on defense, Carl was hanging out on playground for most of it, and whenever people bombed in to Boar, he was there to protect him. I think also with the soldier sometimes. So his team, Boar's team was protecting him very well, and maybe England needs to think about playing around their sniper as well. But it looks like we're going live. I'll let you take the mid. Yeah,
we are indeed live, and England are going to be in the blue, and we will see USA in the red, and we're going to have to see what happens on this mid-fight. Eames is there slightly faster, and May is actually the furthest one forward so far. Viper crossing that far left, jump by split. She's going to take control of that connector side, not allowing anyone to get through. And the first to pick is going to be Viper. Takes down Kronos. Boar gets the body shot onto Cloudy, and that should be easy for the USA to start getting some more frags here, Vox.
Oh, Eames. Yeah, Eames just hit pipe after pipe. Boar goes down, Skis goes down, ODB taken out by Tom. It looks like... there's so much time for the English team here on the point, but there are only 2 players for each side. Actually, Chocobo comes through now with a mini sentry. They haven't won the mid yet, but now that Kronos is here, as long as he doesn't go down, because he's really the only person forward with May, this may be the mid here. Oh, no. Carl's getting aggressive on the point. May is there to help. Emilio takes out Chocobo over on the flank side, and it looks like, yeah, England is finally going to come down with that point. Eames just hit some crazy pipes to save that mid.
Absolutely. The aggression from the English team was so good that they just got so much cap time and so much positioning on the point. But Eames definitely the savior for England in that game, as Granger getting in behind and getting a sniper pick onto Boar. So no sniper to worry about as Tom tries to go for a bomb, ends up getting destroyed there. And Granger's just in the house. He's taking a peek, seeing what he can do. Tries to take down Split and just backs away to safety. And now 30 seconds chipped off the clock for England. Nothing major, but it's definitely up to the USA here to make the play and make something happen and to get something done. And there we go. Boar gets that snipe onto Cloudy to snipe it down. And Carl goes down to Granger though. And Granger probably still alive. He's just running amok right now so far. The Uber comes out from England. Very, very aggressive. Chasing after the players. But despite lots of players dying here, Vox, Skis gets out. And then Viper comes in and gets a 2k onto Kronos and Eames.
I wonder with the advantage too. They could have maybe brought May in on that Uber to chase down Skis if Eames wasn't able to, and that would have done them well. But the US team is going to cap up on the point. They have 100% Uber, so they must be feeling pretty good right now with Viper getting some crucial picks onto Kronos.
Absolutely. It wasn't the best Uber out of England, but they got some frags and they got position, and they could have just retreated and got into a nice position to defend it despite having an Uber disadvantage. That was fine. But Boar there suddenly getting on a bit of a spree, takes on a couple of players, including Kronos. So medic down again, and Skis has 100% in the bank, just waiting around that dispenser, nice and protected by his big fat buddy Carl there. And there we go. Boar takes down Eames again. Big bomb from Tom. But Skis is okay to dodge it and stay alive. And Carl is just playing like really pockety. He's just tanking the heals and just tanking anyone who gets close to Skis. And it's really not working out for Tom with these bombs, as Granger tries to save some face and gets down ODB with the backstab there. So maybe an opening for England to maybe get some suicides in.
Yeah, with ODB down, Viper is not going to be a worry. Emilio actually goes down to the Split, who hits a rocket, just sitting on top of that rock on the left side of there. their team. I mean, they're in a pretty good position. Actually, Cloudy takes out Carl, so that's a big pick from him. Boar is looking for him, though. He doesn't. He wants to end the reign of terror. He doesn't want Cloudy to get in a position and start to get aggressive with his picks. Grenja's going to take down Chocobo. Cherry's going to get traded out. Emilio goes down to Vipa, though, and here's an Uber onto the point, cleaning up as much as they can. Oh, man, Kronos, he's got to try to get out the Flash Scout. That's Slem that's chasing him all the way back to spawn. Oh, man, just steps from the gate. He is going to get out.
I mean, it was well played by. They got Cloudy into position there on the cliff, and he got a couple of frags, got some good damage out, and they got the Uber Force. But you just need to get someone out, buddying that medic out, and getting him safe to spawn, so that, you know, getting him into a position so that you have an Uber advantage. If you keep dying, then it just allows the enemy team to get that Uber advantage. I mean, it's pretty much equal. Skis is at 50% and Kronos is only just behind on 40 because he is running the quick fix now, Vox, and maybe they're just feeling quicker heals to aid them in this fight. I don't know. Maybe trying to get the charge before Skis does, but Boar is in a good position, just keeping an eye on sightlines, and everyone else on the American team is just in a really far forward position.
Yeah, I mean, Boar is not going down, and it seems to be just the it just seems to be the theme so far. As he's going to get the pick on the Cloudy, get the 10k. Here is the Uber forward, but he hits the shot onto Eames while he's quick fix, so it just absolutely neutral.
Backstab comes from Grenja just as Skis gets the Uber there. He comes in at just the right time, and this is the opportunity for England to come forward, but Viper comes in, gets a kill onto Kronos, and the rest of the frags are just going down here. ODB is on the point, and he is alone. He's got to fight Eames here, and it's Demo versus Demo, but ODB has got Carl as assistant. Someone needs to stand on the point, and the headshot from Cloudy takes on ODB just as Eames died. A clutch play there as Emilio gets onto the point, just gets some more camp time to force that overtime to keep ticking over. USA just need to capture this point and they will take the first round. England have got 1 minute and 45 seconds to hold on to keep in this round.
Tom goes in for a big bomb. He's in on Skis over on Cliff, but doesn't manage to come through with it. Grenja does get the backstab onto ODB. One thing to note, though, Kronos is still on quick fix as Boar gets the snipe onto Cloudy. So they didn't switch back over to Uber or anything after they get the point. And I want to see how this is gonna factor in, because in a bit, as Boar gets a shot onto Emilio, Skis is gonna be coming up on Uber, but it looks like they might have to use here anyway to block this point, because as soon as the US team caps it, this could be over. So they get in, they defend.
Whoa! Huge bomb there from Tom, and then Void Trinity and Cherry just come in to combine, take down a majority of the American players there, including Skis. So just like we said earlier, it doesn't matter if you get the force, you get the med pick. If your medic dies as well, then it doesn't matter. But it does look like a lot of England players traded their lives for that aggression, and the USA are just going to walk onto the point and just casually cap it with nobody else around. But I mean, if Ceejaey was here, he'd be telling me that's why the quick fix is bad, Ceejaey. And I would say, well, I think the quick fix has good applications in Highlander, blah 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 blah. But I mean, it did seem like a different strat for England to pull out there, but America looking very, very strong in that first round.
Yeah, I mean, they got the point pretty close, two and a half minutes off of it for England, so just build on that and you can come back and take this round. No one really getting too forward onto point. Vipa goes in for a stab, misses the first one, but gets the second onto Emilio. Boar goes down, so Cloudy gets revenge, takes him out. So that's a big pick by him there. He gets onto his position on Rock, getting his buffs from his medic. And now see what they can do to get Cloudy in a position to do what Boar's been doing. But ODB with that DM takes out Eames and Void. Onto the point comes the American team, and they're going to come through with this mid. But the good thing is they did protect Kronos here, so they're not behind too much on in terms of Uber.
Absolutely, and because they're not going to be controlling the point, that means that they're going to get the better. They're going to get the better respawn, so they can trade here and they can get stuff done. As wow, so much damage comes down here. Ubers are traded. Kronos drops a couple of players, but he's still got Void Trinity. He's trying to get out here and survive. But so many players go down there for England, and Kronos dies very late on. Slemnish already on the spawn and just cleaning up there, and that was just disastrous push from England there. Just a really good forward hold coming out from the USA, and it just worked out so well for them. It just forced the Uber early on, and they're still in control here.
Yeah, Carl goes down, so does Vipa. I mean, Carl being the bigger pick there. Boar is on a 4K as he takes out Tom. Oh, man, it's so hard. What are you going to do as another headshot rings out? They got to figure out. He's on point over in that caution, dog bread. Heard it both ways. As Boar gets the shot onto May, he just can't miss right now. Grenja and Cloudy go down, Split and Slumnish combine for the kills. As Eames does trade out Slumnish. So no scout. Slumnish has been doing a lot of work. This may be an opening. Vipa gets in and takes out Kronos with that Ambassador.
Yeah, big pick, and that's going to mean Skis has 100% Uber. He can just chill, and wow, can't chill that much. He's very, very weak and has to use that Uber, and that was a good force in the end. So the USA not going to have Uber anymore. That's going to allow England to come forward here and maybe get something done, as it's a non-Uber versus non-Uber situation, and Skis is still weak here as Eames comes in and tries to get some damage down onto him, but gets taken down. But wow, Eames, so much damage, takes down Viper, takes down Slumnish, and that's going to be the opening as ODB is so very weak. Skis went down as well, as does Boar, 2 May behind enemy lines, but Carl did take down Kronos, so despite everyone dying for the USA, Kronos did get picked, and he's going to spawn though just before the cap gets pointed. The point gets capped. Vox. It's getting late, and I don't know what's going on anymore, but England have control of the midpoint.
Late? What are you talking about? It's 6 o'clock. What are you? Oh, sorry. That's right. You're across the pond. So May's gonna get taken down. Odie. Oh, Boar! Oh no! What is this? Oh my God! A collat kill with a kill onto Kronos as well. Oh, the Machina is just so strong as he combines for yet another couple frags. Cloudy trying his best Boar impression. He gets a body shot, but it's no collat. As he takes one out.
Yeah, it's really looking really difficult for England right now. 35 seconds left on the clock for USA in this second round. We play first to 3 in ETF2L. That means if the USA take 3 rounds on this map, they will take this tie as Grenja goes in for the stab, but he can't manage to get it on to the medic, and that means he still has 100% Uber. England need to make a big play here. There's only 20 seconds left on the clock. They need to not only get onto the point, but they need to get some frags and do something about that Uber that Skis is holding on to. And there doesn't seem to be anybody close at the moment. USA just in control of the point. Kronos at 85%, starting to walk forward. Gets thrown into the air. Eames goes down, and the Uber is forced, but nobody gets onto the point to get some cap time there, Vox. That's going to be 2-0. So USA are 1 round away from getting into the semi-final of the Nations Cup, and England have an uphill battle here to get back into this tie.
Yeah, they're going to do complete reversal of fortune. That's going to be 3 straight rounds here, plus a win on steel in order to continue. So this rollout, this mid is going to mean a lot, as already on the point is Eames. They got to be careful. Vipa's been doing a lot of work on these mids. Eames is going to go down as Boar gets a body shot onto him. I'm actually taking a look to see where Vipa is. He's actually backed out right now. Boar is actually going to get taken out by Cloudy. Not a bad pick. I mean, maybe the most important pick right now, as England is capping up on the point. Slumnish goes down. They lose a couple players, but I think England should cap this, maybe, as Vipa actually takes out Emilio on point. This is looked like a sure thing, but maybe not so much anymore as these quick fix forward.
Yeah, I really like the aggression from England there as the quick fix is used, but the Uber comes out, and as we know, Uber makes you invincible and quick fix does not, but Kronos does survive and has managed to back off there to connect with May in main. But that cap didn't even go down there for England. They had so much presence on the point. They were really far forward, got some good frags, but they just didn't have the support from the rest of the team to get the cap time down, and that means USA are going to win that midpoint. There is a teleporter up for Cherry, but it might get taken down here as Cherry's actually taking it. He's being spawn capped by Slumnish, who takes him down, and England are bleeding a few players here, but Kronos is going to have his charge earlier than Skis. Let's not forget he is running quick fix, and he's at 80% already, so if England starts moving right now, Kronos will be able to quick fix his team in and hopefully get some frags as they do charge it onto Eames here, and Emilio. Eames jumps forward, but that anti-aircraft gun of Carl is just going to deny it, and so many frags go down. Kronos goes down there to Suzuki, who just jumps in, and there's 3 players left alive for England, and the quick fix charge just did not work there at all, Vox.
Yeah, I'd almost like to see maybe they come out with crits or something like that, you know, if they want to switch things up. I mean, I don't know the finer points of how a crits works in your favor if the enemy team has high ping, but I mean, it's worth a shot right now because this doesn't look like it's working. They had trouble with Uber, having trouble with quick fixes. Viper takes out one, Boar takes out another. They use Uber forward, get aggressive. Kronos backing out. It looks like he might be able to, as Slemnish chases, tries to maybe get the pick on a May and then go in for Kronos, but he's going to back out. Actually go back onto Cliff. But they need to switch something up, and it doesn't look like they're doing much different right now. They're waiting for that quick fix charge. They're not going to be able to push through those sticks that are in mid. They've got to hold on to Cliff. So the English team probably going to have to go out grass side and see what they can get done with their quick fix from there.
Yeah, they have the full charge, and Ceejaey is nowhere near. He's only at 75% as the quick fix is used. It's going to pick up Zuki and Chikobo. Split is so very weak as well. He gets taken down by the roller. Ceejaey is at 90%. He's taking damage though, but nobody's committing onto the point. And Carl is there just behind. He gets cleaned up eventually, but there's 4 players left alive for the USA. One of them is Ceejaey, who uses that Uber onto Slemnish, and they're just going to try and chase down some frags. And England are a little bit scattered here. We've got some players trying to play the point, and some players regrouping behind. Void is onto Slemnish, trying to deny that scout push. He gets taken down there. And Emilio is the furthest person forward, just trying to get some damage down, but Kronos goes down to Slemnish, who is he's just wreaking havoc behind enemy lines here. Vox, he's just running around and just cleaning up frags as he picks up Cloudy as well.
Yeah, there are no brakes on that train, and Slemnish is hitting everything, Moore is hitting everything. This is just, it's got to be a little demoralizing right now. They know their tournament is down to these next 15 seconds. Ceejaey has advantage, even with the quick fix. They take out Carl, they take out Zakima. I mean, this is do or die time as the split goes down as well. Trying to get forward is May, put some damage out onto Boar. He gets taken out. Boar gets the headshot onto Cherry. Like, what? As Tom goes down, they get in. They gotta kill Ceejaey here. You gotta kill Ceejaey here before he gets. Oh my god. And of course, Boar hits the shot. Boar hits the shot, and this may be curtains.
This may be curtains. 1 player left alive, and it is May. He is actually close to the point, but he can't take down ODB. The USA capture this, which they will. That is 3-0 to the USA, and they are going to advance to the semi-finals to play Germany. And England, who started out fairly strongly, weren't able to pick up a round in this game, and they will be knocked out at the quarterfinal stage. And I'm gonna throw it out there, Vox. I mean, USA don't deny that they have some great players and they have a very good team, but coming into a tournament and playing against players who probably played together quite a bit, and some of the better players, and playing with 100 to 150 ping. I would say this is a bit of an upset, and I don't think predictions would have gone this way, so congratulations to the USA.
Yeah, I mean, obviously I have to have some pride for my nation, but if US were going to win, I thought it was going to be very close. So coming out here and dominating as they did, I mean, that's going to send a shockwave. That's going to scare people going forward. I mean, now they have to play the German team coming up, so I don't know too much about them. Unfortunately, my knowledge, my feeble NA brain, does not extend to the EU players. But I mean, they've got to be a little scared after seeing what happened here if they're watching. So they better come prepared with lines and lines and lines written down in notebooks on how to kill a sniper, and they're gonna have to chalk it out one by one, all the different ways that they can get onto board, because as we've seen, he's going to do a lot of work.
Absolutely, but there are other players who did very well. Just taking a look at the logs for this game, Ball there did top frag with 38 kills, but I did shout out to Slemnish as well on the scout, going 31 for 13. He just seemed to be at the right place at the right time, and when he was in there, he was just picking up frag after frag, just getting in there and cleaning up the damage from the rest of the team. And once again, ODB only dying 6 times. Just staying alive, pumping out that damage and getting those frags. So well played by him. The highest fragger for England was Granger with 14, but there were 5 American players ahead of him, and it did just seem to be a comfortable victory in the end. I do wonder how kind of the mindset of the English team, whether at some point they just thought, I don't know, whether they got into their heads and it was very, very difficult for them to get back into the game. But, you know, USA looking strong on both maps. And yeah, I mean, the German team, they've got some strong players as well. And a lot of the players have played together for a long time and they've been around in the scene for a long time. So that'll be a very interesting game as well. So we'll be seeing that in the semi-final. Of course, we do have two other quarterfinals. We have Belgium versus Denmark, and we have Sweden versus Russia. That's on the other side of the bracket. But I mean, looking ahead, do you think USA are going to be confident to get through to the final, no matter what opposition they play?
Based off of some of the things I saw that were hidden the chat, I think the U.S. seems very confident to beat anyone, regardless of who they are. So I think just personally, each of those players probably feel very confident, especially with such a strong victory here. So hopefully going to be carrying that momentum forward into the competition.
We've got some nerd who's joined us, Vox. I mean, we've had a wonderful time, haven't we? I mean, like I've it's been a pleasure casting with you, but now we've got some wannabe like joining the mumble. He wants to say something.
There's nothing.
Saigafu, is that how you pronounce your name?
I'm pretty sure you know how to pronounce my name, Ceejaey, and it's because I don't need to know how to pronounce your name. Because when you're in America, you just win. You do whatever you want, and you just win. You know what I have to say about England? Sad. That's what I would just end my tweet with, just sad right there. Just a sad game today out of England. Slemish going off. And I remember Ceejaey being like, oh, you know, America might's going to have a hard time up against this England's team. You know what happened? America won, because America always wins, going all the way back to that World War of some sort. There's one of them. I don't need to know history. I'm American. But they played damn good today, and I'm excited to see how they do in the future. I just had to come in and give it a little shout. You guys did a great cast, by the way. I'll let you finish it off.
Thank you for your insight, your wonderful insight and historical anecdotes. Sigafu, I appreciate you joining us. But yes, Vox, do you have anyone you want to shout out to before we disappear?
Yeah, I'm just gonna shout out the squad real quick. That's Jack, Watterson, and Dr. Zoidine, just my buddies. Big shout out to the teams. I know we were delayed, but you know, there were talks about maybe forcing a default, so I'm glad they gave us something to watch. So I appreciate you know, the extra time afforded so everyone got their players so that we were able to watch. And thanks so much, Arjax, who contacted me to cast, UCJ for you know, being a brilliant co-caster with me, and then Wiethoofd, did I say that right? I think, right? Close. Okay. You know, for being the man behind the scenes. The cameramen never get as much love as they should, so appreciate you putting everything on for us.
Absolutely. It's been a pleasure casting with you. I hope we do it again sometime. And obviously to Wiethoofd in the background, just rounding up casters, as well as Arjax, who's also been trying to find casters for games as well. And you guys just do a brilliant job on the production with this beautiful HUD that you've designed and just everything going on. Absolutely love it. Giving us a platform just to talk over the game and to offer our insight onto what's going on. But this has been England versus the United States. USA taking it 2-0, and they're advancing to the semi-finals to play against Germany. We will have another cast tomorrow. Belgium versus Denmark. Denmark, another one of those teams that played in the invite group. We've seen one get knocked out. Well, we see another one get knocked out tomorrow. So check out BlackOut Gaming TV again. Casters to be confirmed. I just told Wiethoofd I'm available, so maybe me. We'll see. Maybe somebody else. It depends. But thank you for watching, guys. Keep up to date with all of the stuff on ETF2L and BlackOut Gaming TV. We'll have more games coming for you in the future. Have a good night.